I mean, it's an achievement. Winning a division is an achievement. It took them 5.5 months, more than 5.5 months to do this. They had to go through their own sets of troubles and injuries and guys on and off the list. And, baseball is a really long grind. So they get that release. They get that excitement. They've got the title locked up. You know, you're going to be the 3 seed. Right now, you'd play Philadelphia, by the way. The Phillies are the final wild card team. And we've talked already about which one's going to end up being the better matchup. We can do that specifically next week because we're going to know more here. By this time next week, 1 week from today, the season ends.
As far as the celebration goes, I don't care what they do. It doesn't matter if they go over the top with it, if they decide to kind of stroll out onto the field, which is what they did. And that, to me, was noticeable that they just, it happened. They got the final out, and they kind of just walked out onto the field like it was any other time. What I did appreciate about it, though, was the sense that, yes, we accomplished this. We expected to accomplish this, though.
Yeah.
We expected this to happen. Now there's something more that we have to accomplish. I'll never take away a team celebrating winning a division because, like you said, it's a big deal, and there are some people that never get to win a division their entire careers. So it is an achievement to do that. But I also very much like the idea of them seeing it as, okay, that's job 1 finished. Now we have job 2 to get after, which is winning the wild card series.
Yeah.
And I really, really appreciate that.
I think circumstance plays into it. So, for example, if this was the last game of the regular season, and you clinched on the last day in a long battle, I think there would be more of a celebration. But they've kind of known they were winning the division now for several weeks.
Yeah.
Right. Once they got to be at a point where they were 8-9 games up on Milwaukee, this division was pretty much over. Mathematically, it was just going to be impossible for Milwaukee to get back in, barring them going crazy and the Cardinals falling apart. So I think that plays into it too. Like they already knew they were going to do this. It was just a matter of when.
And it's a little bit. They are the Cardinals. They've been here before. Act like you've been here before, and they have. The Cardinals have a little bit of swag because they can.
So many of them have been there a lot too.
Yeah.
Not many teams have guys like Molina and Pujols and Wainwright that have been through as many things as those guys have. I mean, you have 3 guys that have literally done everything, that have done all of these things. And you got a few others that have been around a bit, but Goldie's never really been through this kind of thing on a regular basis. Arenado had never been on a division winner before. And a lot of the guys are kids.
Yeah.
So It's really good to have those guys at the front end of the roster that can kind of be the calming factor. Like, okay, hey, listen, because you heard Albert talk about it last night. He's like, this is great. Let's celebrate it. Have fun tonight. But this is just the beginning. Like there's more that we need to do. Our goal is the World Series. Our goal is not to win the division. We'll have more on the Cardinals division clinch. John Rooney's going to join us coming up at 12:30. Up next, we're going to talk about a bill that's making its way through Congress that would make it harder to overturn elections. Sounds like a good thing. We'll talk about it next on the show.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
What I'm about to say and what I'm about to offer, remember this. Just because it's more expensive, trust me, our higher energy rating doesn't make it better, but we ran out of our recommended stock. So here's what I'm doing, and I made a deal with my supplier, is I'm selling the higher end ones for the same price as the really good ones. You're going to pay the price for the really good ones at the less than what the higher end ones charge because they don't have it anymore. Made that deal for you. So that's till they get the supply up. So I would imagine you're going to need air conditioning from now through September. That's what I promise to you. It's a great price, and we do have the equipment. So if you need me, call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman. 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com. Get ready, because here they come.
1, 2, 3, 4!
It's Beatlemania all over again with the Fab Four, the ultimate tribute to the Beatles.
Entertainment Tonight says seeing the Fab Four is just like seeing the Beatles.
Hey Jude.
The Fab Four takes you through the 60s with the music that changed our lives.
Yesterday.
It's a show you won't want to miss.
Saturday, October 1st at the Family Arena. Tickets now on sale at the Carroll House box office, located at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster.
It's the Sail On Tour 2022, starring Orleans, Firefall,
You are the woman that I've always dreamed of.
Peter Beckett, the voice of Player, John Ford Kohler, Walter Egan, and the Babies with Sail On Tour 2022. Saturday, October 15th at the Family Arena. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I want to tell you about Bill Kaufman and his team at Banner Construction. Since 1993, my friends at Banner Construction have engineered their projects to go beyond the basic low-cost solutions. You know, that's more than 25 years of experience. And now is the perfect time to call the experts at Banner Construction. They're ready to help. If you're looking for windows, you should know that Banner is a James Hardie Elite Preferred Contractor. James Hardie Fiber Cement siding has the rich look and feel of wood. And Banner's also a Platinum Certified Pella Window Contractor. Those Pella windows are beautiful, and they come with a 30-year warranty. One of the safest investments you can make today is an exterior renovation to your home. And Banner homes have timeless beauty, striking curb appeal, and ultra-low maintenance. If you take pride in your home, trust it to the team of experts at Banner Construction. Banner has helped us 6 times on 2 different homes, 569-1050 and bannerconstruction.com.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
All right, 10:22 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you. We mentioned in the tease that there's an effort afoot to make it more difficult to overturn elections. What's interesting to me is not only that is there, and I think the point being made here is that these rules haven't been updated in a really, really long time. And based on what we saw in January 2021, probably a good idea to adjust and make things a little bit more stable. What's interesting to me about this, you guys, is the person that's behind it. Mitch McConnell is the one that's now pushing for this and saying, we need to do this. We need to make it tougher based on the lessons that we just learned a year ago. We need to make it tougher to overturn an election.
Yeah, and basically his support does increase the chances that the bill will pass in the Senate. It also puts him in opposition to former President Donald Trump, who has, not surprisingly, called on GOP senators to reject the plan. Mitch McConnell was talking about this bill yesterday, and he did use a phrase that I think is the key to why he supports it, and that is, quote, I strongly support the modest changes that our colleagues in the working group have fleshed out after literally months of detailed discussions. I'll proudly support the legislation, provided that nothing more than technical changes are made to its current form. And I think it's the more modest changes because the House of Representatives had their own bill to amend the Electoral Count Act of 1887, which was broader in scope, and Kevin McCarthy and the House Republicans rejected that bill. This one proposes more modest changes. And that is one reason why Mitch McConnell is supporting it versus the other one, which was a bit more sweeping, which House Republicans did reject.
The only person who voted against this one is Ted Cruz. And he said yesterday that he doesn't understand why Republicans would vote in favor of it. My hope is that people, regardless of the political party that you affiliate yourself with, would want there to be something like this done so that we don't ever again have the possibility, like we should never even fear the possibility that something like January 6th could happen again, and that maybe some electors could decide to change their votes and pick the guy they want to win. And we can't have that because somebody has objected to the results of the election, because a person lost, cannot accept the loss, and wants to do everything they can to hold on to the office. I don't care what party it is. I don't want anybody that I vote for ever in my entire lifetime to say, yeah, I lost, but I'm going to raise a stink about it, and I'm going to object, and I'm going to try to get people to give me votes or to take votes away from somebody else so that I can hang on to my office. Never in my life will I support something like that. I don't care who it is. If I vote for them and they lose fairly, the election's over, and it's time to move on from it. So if these measures, if this one, if the House bill, whatever they ultimately agree on, leads to avoiding that kind of situation like we had last year, where there was even the possibility of something like that happening, that's a good thing.
Well, maybe Ted Cruz didn't read the whole bill, because I saw yesterday he was busy criticizing Chrissy Teigen about something she said, which is definitely, something
that's something we should be worried about.
Serious importance,
Yeah, senators should absolutely be concerned about Chrissy Teigen. Now, if you're wondering, this bill, the Senate bill, would make several changes to the Electoral Count Act and the Presidential Transition Act of 1963. And this is to address a unclear portion of the law, or some ambiguity in the electoral law that President Trump tried to exploit. So it would increase the number of House and Senate members required to raise an objection to election results when a joint session of Congress meets, as Chris was referring to. Currently, one House member and one senator can object to electoral votes, sending them to a vote in Congress. But the Senate bill would require the support of 1/5 of each chamber to reject an objection, as Chris was saying.
As much as I've read on it, I don't know that I've seen it addressed, and it probably doesn't address this. But there's also the concern of what's going to be happening with local elections offices, state boards, and who's on these and who's running for them. Because what's been happening is a lot of people, for example, people that have I don't even like bringing up the name, but the QAnon background, they're running for
local. Are sympathetic.
They're running for local offices,
right, and winning in some cases.
This is what I'm saying, and they're trying to get on to elections boards. They're trying to get into those positions at the state and local level, to where you actually do have the freedom to send different electors or to overrule what the Electoral College says, because every state's rules are a little bit different, if I understand it correctly.
Yes, and so both bills, the one in the House and the Senate, did address this. And they're trying to make it harder for there to be any confusion over the electors themselves. So in the Senate bill, it's explicitly stated that each state's governor would be responsible for submission of a certificate that identifies electors, eliminating the potential for multiple state officials sending multiple states of electors. That, according to CNN.
It's a good effort. And again, to me, interesting to see that this is clearly, at least, it's not 100% bipartisan, but it is clearly at least somewhat bipartisan, right? I mean,
only one person voted against it.
Same, but if Mitch McConnell's involved with it, I mean, this is not just one side of this going, we're mad. It's called cooperation.
McConnell was on the Senate floor last year denouncing what was going on January 6th. He better be on board.
Yeah, and he is for this time. All right, we just got news here in the last couple of days about a couple of Catholic schools closing. We're going to talk to St. Mary's alum, Mayor Slay, former Mayor Slay, I should say. Francis Slay will join us when we come back on the other side of the news.
Changing the weather.
Fall.
Changing the
Weather.
Something's happening here.
Temps turning chillier. Days getting shorter.
Changing the weather.
We'll help you weather the changes. And when severe weather lands, the Air Comfort Heating and Cooling Storm Center will be there for you. The weather, we've got it covered. On St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
Busey Bank, leading the way to your financial wellness. No matter where your financial journey begins, Pathways banking options at Busey are designed with your goals in mind. Busey Bank, building strong financial futures, one family, one street, one city at a time. Busey, your partner in building business and growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 38,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Trish Gazelle for Ophthalmology Associates. For the best eye doctors, you need to see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Online at youridoc.com or 314-966-5000.
What started as a small, dedicated group helping a handful of nonprofits has blossomed into a movement that addresses the needs of our entire region. 100 years later, this movement is woven into the fabric of this community, a movement rooted in collectively helping each other, transforming lives, and making the St. Louis region a better place. That is the United Way. Learn more, helpingpeople.org.
The Little Bit Foundation works to eliminate barriers to learning for 14,000 under-resourced students in the St. Louis area. Our vision is that every child has the opportunity to reach their potential and achieve their dreams. Bringing programs and partnerships into school communities, the Little Bit Foundation focuses on a whole child model, addressing essential needs, health and nutrition, wellness and family support, academic equity and enrichment, and college and career readiness. To learn more, go to thelittlebitfoundation.org.
At 10:31, we have sunny skies and 55 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. Federal emergency management officials say the tools and resources are in place to help Florida and surrounding communities guide through the potential life-threatening dangers brought on by Hurricane Ian. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says multiple government agencies will be deployed for search and rescue efforts originating from Miami. There are also emergency vehicles in place.
We have provided Florida with 300 ambulances as well as expert federal medical teams. These are the same teams, the same brave first responders that we use to help communities during COVID-19.
President Biden today urging the people of Florida to follow all warnings and notices from emergency officials, describing Hurricane Ian as an incredibly dangerous, life-threatening storm. He also made this pledge about the aftermath of the storm.
We'll be there to help you clean up and rebuild, to help you get Florida get moving again. And we'll be there at every step of the way. That's my absolute commitment to the people of the state of Florida.
Meantime, the president warning oil and gas companies against increasing prices for consumers as the hurricane nears landfall along Florida's southwest coast. The Bank of England has taken emergency action to stabilize UK financial markets and head off a crisis in the broader economy. The move today comes after the government spooked investors with a program of unfunded tax cuts, sending the pound tumbling and the cost of government debt soaring. Taking a look at the commute, there's a stalled vehicle 44 eastbound before 270 on the right shoulder. Emergency vehicles are 44 eastbound on the ramp from 100. Be prepared to stop there. That could be out of the way in the next few minutes. The KMOX forecast, plenty of sunshine. Look for a high of 68 degrees. And for tonight, clear skies, overnight low of 47. Right now, we have plenty of sunshine. It is 56 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
The listening you love is on the free Odyssey app. Your trusted local radio stations, coverage of your favorite teams, live news from your hometown, and millions of podcasts on demand. Best of all, you can completely customize your listening experience. Follow topics you care about, like leagues and teams. Pause or rewind your local sports and news, and add shows to your queue to catch up later. There's a lot to listen to, so get started and download the free Odyssey app today.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side, fighting for every last dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Attention veterans. If you were stationed at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you and your family may be victims of toxic water poisoning. Cancers, birth defects, deadly illnesses have all been linked to the contaminated water. Congress is now holding the government accountable. You could be awarded financial compensation for your suffering, but you must act now. Visit sickvets.com for your free case review by True Law. That's sickvets, like veterans.com. Sickvets.com. Visit sickvets.com.
It's amazing how much screen time you could fit into a day. Hey, Cam Jansen here, known for my fights on the ice, and now I'm helping fight cancer by encouraging others to actually increase their screen time. Cancer screening time, that is. Cancer is one of the greatest health threats Missourians face. But a screening can catch cancer early when it may be easier to treat. So go get screened even if you're feeling fine. Plus, it only takes a few minutes to schedule one. Get started at GetScreenedMo.org.
Diamonds Direct's unbelievable zero-interest finance offer is coming to a close, but you have until this Sunday to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing on any purchase. Now more than ever, it's the smartest way to buy. You can get that engagement ring or fabulous piece of designer jewelry and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. This amazing offer is good through this weekend only. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get all the details, including special Sunday hours, at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
Thursday night, it's NFL football on KMOX. As the Dolphins take on the Bengals. Kickoff at 7.
We're going to be in football heaven.
Miami, Cincinnati, Thursday at 7. Hear the game here on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Coming up on 10:36 here on the show, Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. One of the stories that we're tracking today is the plan involving the Archdiocese of St. Louis closing a couple of high schools. St. Mary's and Rosati Kane High Schools are both set to be closed at the end of the year, so we decided to reach out to one of the more famous alums from St. Mary's specifically here, and that would be the former mayor, Francis Slay, now the executive director of the St. Louis Regional Crime Commission. Mayor Slay, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. How long ago did you find out this was part of the plan?
I found out yesterday.
Oh, okay.
For the first time. Yeah, we certainly knew that the Archdiocese was doing its all things new planning process, but I will tell you, as far as I was concerned, it took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting this.
Mayor, good to talk to you again. And you are currently putting your efforts into keeping the schools open. What does that look like? Would those schools remain open outside of the Archdiocese support?
Well, that's not for me to talk about at this point. We're in the process of planning an approach, and there's a lot of pieces, so I really can't get into the specifics at this time. There isn't a lot at this point. There are some models that we're looking at about where this has been done in other places, but I'm not at liberty really giving any details because I really don't have any at this point. But I can tell you that we have a very supportive and many very supportive alum that are joining with us, and a lot of other people who are wanting to see this outstanding institution that's a real anchor in the Dutchtown neighborhood stay open.
You know, we've seen the statement released explaining what's going on, but you can't always get what you want or, the information that you're looking for from a simple statement. Have you been able to, or anybody that you have been working with, been able to speak to somebody directly about why these particular decisions were made?
That would be for me. Mike England, who is he's an outstanding leader, and he's the president of St. Mary's, would be the best person to talk to about that. He's the one that's been in direct contact with the Archdiocese, and certainly, he eats, sleeps, and breathes St. Mary's High School, and has been an outstanding leader. I am not at liberty. I don't have the inside information to talk about any details of that nature. I can just tell you that, I've seen St. Mary's from the inside, both as a student and as a member of the board for a number of years. They provide 90 years of excellent education in the Dutchtown neighborhood. And I'm certainly one of the tens of thousands of alum that have greatly benefited from the quality education and experiences there. And the school really does have a talented leader, as I talked about, who's a visionary and a tireless steward for the mission and the neighborhood. And it has outstanding teachers and staff who provide learning environment that's excellent. I mean, in high quality sports programs. Well, they won the state championship last year in football.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a snippet. I mean, they've got outstanding sports and other programs as well. And the other thing is, it's a beautiful, well-maintained facility and campus. If you're there, you go in there, and the school is really a beautiful school inside and out. The grounds are great. Relatively new football field, baseball field, track. I mean, it's really, and it's an anchor in the Dutchtown neighborhood. That's going to be a big hole in that neighborhood if that were to shut down, and it will also be a shame to get rid of such an outstanding educational institution, because they really do provide quality education, and as well as Rosati Kane does that as well. But it is a real important anchor in the neighborhood, and they're not just closed within the campus. St. Mary's has reached out into the community. They do community events where they get the students out in the neighborhoods to do cleanup and other things. They partner with St. Joseph Housing Initiative, which is an initiative where the organization purchases houses and fixes them up for low-income families to help stabilize the neighborhood. So there's a lot of things going on within and outside of the brick and mortar of St. Mary's that is a good argument for why we need to keep St. Mary's open, and we need to keep that quality education and institution in Dutchtown.
Well, I didn't grow up in St. Louis, but I went to a high school that has the same kind of history in another place. I went to a Catholic high school that's very similar in structure. I know what it meant to me, and I know that's what it means to you. So hopefully you guys will be able to make some ground here to keep things rolling. And we'll definitely stay in touch. If there's any new developments, or if we hear anything, we'll reach out back again, because I know this is something that hits home for a lot of people. And we appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us today, Mayor Slay, and we'll look forward to catching up again sometime down the road.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, and best wishes to you all.
All right, thank you so much. That's former Mayor Francis Slay, now the executive director of the St. Louis Regional Crime Commission, and of course talking about the potential closures of both St. Mary's and Rosati Kane high schools.
And I know we're going to scoot here, but I also wanted to note that Rosati Kane was the first school in St. Louis to racially integrate in 1947, 7 years before Brown versus Board of Education. A lot of history at that school as well.
Yeah. And, again, tough times for a lot of things. The diocese, I'm sure, has financial reasons for making this move, but that doesn't mean you can't save them with some kind of plan. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk about the intersection of politics and ethics. Sarah Isker is going to join us. We're going to talk about Maggie Haberman's new book and the concept of sitting on news to save for said book.
Have you ever gone to the grocery store hungry? Big mistake. Next thing you know, you're in the kitchen unloading all this stuff you didn't need, saying, "What did I do?" It's kind of like someone going into retirement without a plan. Steve All at the All Financial Group is here to help. He offers a complimentary retirement review. So instead of saying, "What did I do?" you can say, "Here's what I'm doing." Call 636-230-8824 and get more details online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory services offered through All Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuity products offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
For 30 years, Banner Banner Construction has offered the finest home exterior solutions featuring James Hardy and Pella windows to give your home a beautiful new look. Today, people are finding there's no safer place to invest than in your home. But it's important to choose the right contractor, and Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy specialist. Call now to get scheduled for early spring. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. That's 569-1050 or bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
Yes, with inflation, interest rate increases, and a possible recession looming, we are no doubt facing uncertain times in the housing market. But as a realtor with over 20 years of experience, I can tell you, if you're thinking of selling your home, now more than ever, you need a realtor to help you through these times while saving you money. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and we offer all of this for only 4%. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
The Highland Arts Council invites you to the 18th Annual Art in the Park Festival in Highland, Illinois, Saturday and Sunday, October 8th and 9th. There will be nearly 40 professional artists in an indoor and outdoor setting to shop, plus food and entertainment for the entire family. Kids can make their own art creations for free. Art in the Park, October 8th and 9th. In Lindendale Park in Highland, Illinois. Visit highlandartscouncil.org for more information. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available, and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, September 28th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is unprecedented, worth hundreds of dollars. But call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Business owners and leaders encounter new information, challenges, and changes every day. This is why Enterprise Bank and Trust developed Enterprise University, a program that offers practical, in-depth virtual courses that challenge and energize business owners and leaders at no cost to you. Attendees say our courses provide a fresh perspective and new skills and strategies to grow their business. To learn more about Enterprise University and the courses offered, visit enterprisebank.com/EU. Enterprise Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Join the Foundation Fighting Blindness at the St. Louis Vision Walk on Saturday, October 1st at Creve Coeur Lake Park to help find cures to diseases that cause blindness. Visit visionwalk.org.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
United Way of Greater St. Louis is celebrating a century of helping people in our region with essential needs, early childhood and youth success, health and well-being, jobs and financial mobility, and community stability and crisis response. Find out how you can help our community at helpingpeople.org.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Dude, I'm here for the show.
What show?
St. Louis, this is your show. The show. The show on KMOX.
Right back on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Markscores, Kevin Wheeler with you. A story that we've been wanting to talk about, we've been waiting to get a more expert opinion on, has been the story with Maggie Haberman and her new book and some of the revelations that have come out in advance of the book being published. Things that have been known for a period of time but not reported because obviously you're saving them for the book to sell copies of the book. And we've been talking about this amongst ourselves, and happy to have Sarah Isgur with us to talk about it here on the air. She's contributing editor at Politico. You'll also find her work with ABC News and the Dispatch, and her podcast is called Advisory Opinions. Sarah, thank you for joining us again. It's good to have you.
Of course, happy to be here.
Well, I really appreciate your time, Sarah. And let's start with Maggie Haberman. I saw some bad legal hot takes on Twitter regarding Maggie Haberman, what she knew about the documents at Mar-a-Lago, what she sat on for her book. Can you kind of explain what Maggie is revealed that she may have known and what her responsibility is or was, if any, when you do an interview and you get information and you just happen to be writing a book?
Well, let's just start from the most important piece of advice that I can give people, which is do not get legal advice from Twitter. Even someone who is clearly a lawyer can give really bad legal takes on Twitter. In this case, again, it's a real lawyer. He used to work in the New York Attorney General office. I'm very confused about this legal take, but he said that because Maggie was aware of potential crimes that Donald Trump had committed by taking classified information from the White House after he left in 2021 and taking those documents down to Mar-a-Lago, something the Department of Justice is currently, has a criminal investigation open. There are all sorts of statutory crimes. Certainly, if I took classified documents from my time at the Department of Justice to my house, I would be sitting in jail right now. In this case, this lawyer said that by not reporting those crimes to authorities, the reporter, Maggie Haberman, committed a crime called misprision. Misprision, by the way, is a fun word to say, first of all, but it is sort of like obstruction of justice. Obstruction of justice, though, is where you actually prevent authorities from finding evidence, something like that. Misprision is more about concealment, helping to conceal a crime. And so this, again, actual lawyer said that she committed misprision because she concealed the crimes of Donald Trump. She knew about them. She waited to sell her book to, say that she knew about these crimes. The problem is anyone who has made it through their first semester of criminal law in law school will know that misprision concealment actually requires an actual act of concealment, not just not telling someone. And so the example I like to use is that if you're walking down the sidewalk, Amy, tomorrow, and you see across the street someone snatch a purse from a nice old lady, and you keep walking, you're a bad person, but you didn't commit any crime. You did not commit misprision. Now, if then the purse snatcher runs past you and you say, hey, go this way, down this dark alley, they won't find you down here. Maybe then you committed misprision. And then when the police come talk to you and they're like, where did he go? Which way? And you point the other direction and say, he went that way. Maybe you committed obstruction because you misled the police intentionally in order to help the person get away. But simply continuing to walk down the street, not reporting a crime to the police is definitely not itself a crime.
I would like to talk to you in depth at some point about how I could get Amy in prison, but but I have a question about like your. I don't really want you to go to prison. Thanks. You do terribly there, but I'm curious about there's an ethical question about this because it happened with the Woodward book from, I think, about a year ago about Trump and the COVID thing and his response. And people said, why didn't you tell us? He waited for the book. And this is a similar kind of situation. Do you think there's an ethical violation here?
Yeah, I mean, that is the harder question. When Amy keeps walking after that mean guy snatched the nice old lady's purse.
God, I hope she does.
What was her ethical obligation at that point? And we can walk through that different ways. Amy is this, nice little lady. This was a big, mean guy. She was never going to get the purse back. He was just going to knock her down. So it would have been a stand for nothing, right? So you can walk down those various hypotheticals. In this case, I think what reporters would tell you is that, first of all, from like a journalistic ethics perspective, no, they don't have any ethical obligation to always say everything they know as soon as they know it. I mean, think of any long-form journalism or any book that's been out there on, effective altruism or how to stop malaria. If you're saying, no, you had to tell us immediately when you figured out how we could stop malaria, Well, yeah, but like I thought I could get it out there more efficiently to more people through a book. I needed to do more research. I wasn't quite sure. I mean, all of those things go into journalistic ethics as well. The other thing you'll hear from the Woodwards and the Habermans is, what difference do you think it would have made? You knew all of these basic things about his character, so maybe you didn't know the specifics about this story, but it certainly would not have made a difference in the election, and I am very persuaded by that.
That's a really good point. So where would the line be? And I know that it's not a hard and fast line. Maybe it's something that kind of fades sometimes and becomes stronger at others. But what would be the line where you're like, you know what, we can't sit on that? Is it simply that some people would be in danger or that some evidence could end up disappearing? It's a really difficult thing because I think you're right. It's a gray area. This is not a black or white thing.
You know, I think more often in journalism, the question is when not to publish something that you would otherwise publish. You know, I am not a journalism ethics professor, but I talk to my students. I teach communications in George Washington University for undergraduates. And, you know, an example I like to give them is, you're the White House press secretary, and a reporter says, we've got information that tomorrow SEAL Team 6 of Navy SEALs is going to go kill bin Laden, and we're going to report it. You know, what is that journalist ethics not to report that?
Right.
Because it could endanger the people involved, prevent them from getting bin Laden. And that's actually a much more common and harder question a lot of the times, and something that I dealt with at the Department of Justice with my reporters who want to do the right thing in those situations. They don't want to cost people's lives, obviously, or hurt an investigation, but they do have an obligation to get information out to the public that is important, necessary, informative. So, yeah, I mean, journalism is actually a hard job. People should give journalists more credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you mentioned that. What was your opinion on Politico getting the Roe v. Wade decision leak? I mean, you talk about a loaded story.
Yeah, so that's a great example where nobody's lives were at danger. There was nothing at stake aside from us learning about a decision that the Supreme Court had already voted on internally. It could change, but this was a real draft that had been circulated. I think any organization that would have gotten that would have published it. It doesn't mean that it was, good for the institution of the Supreme Court. It obviously wasn't, in my opinion, but that was the choice of the leaker, and that was the choice of the justices to share those draft opinions and things like that. And so, yeah, I think in that case, you absolutely publish it.
Great information, Sarah. We always love having you on, and we also like you playing along with us a little bit too, because when we're teasing it. We tease Amy, but we love.
We'll all visit her in jail.
If you do an advisory opinions podcast with David French about my case, it might be worth it.
There you go.
Okay, done.
Sarah, thank you so much. Have a great one.
You bet.
You got it. That's Sarah Isgur. You can find her on Twitter, by the way, at Wig Newtons, which is one of the most hilarious Twitter handles. That's WHIG, the political wig, not the wig that you put on top of your head. Obviously, staff writer for The Dispatch, Politico contributing editor, ABC News, and, of course, the Advisory Opinions podcast. I thought that was interesting differentiation when it comes to kind of journalistic ethics and whether there's going to be harm coming from the decision to publish or not publish. We'll talk more about that another time. Coming up after the top of the hour news, it's trending, and we'll tell you what's going on around the world when we come back.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman again with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 946-9999. We're locally and family owned, and we bought over 50 properties this year. A lot of times people are looking to sell their property as is, and maybe they've talked to another investor and didn't get a good offer, and we came in and made a better offer. Because of our economies of scale, we can usually pay more than all other investors in town and provide probably one of the strongest offers you'll get. Reach out to us today, KLAMEN Group.com or 314-946-9999.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is hiring commercial and residential technicians and installers. Do you have a technical background? Are you mechanically and or electronically inclined? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis offers a paid training program, company vehicle that you take home, health benefits, competitive pay, starting bonus, and much more. Now hiring commercial and residential technicians. Go to overheaddoorsstlouis.com to learn more. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine The Original.
My name is Dr. Brooke Bello. I'm not a political figure. I'm a survivor. When I was a kid, I was trafficked, drugged, and raped. The traffickers forced me to have multiple abortions. Had my mother been notified, she could have intervened, called the police, and saved me from years of exploitation. Last year, I told my story to General Assembly and Governor Pritzker, pleading with them to preserve the right of Illinois' loving parents to know if their daughters are about to undergo an abortion. Governor Pritzker ignored my cry. He took away the very thing that could have saved me and is needed to protect those being exploited today. Parental rights that protect our kids should never be in doubt. This is personal to me, and I hope it's important to you when you vote this November.
Paid for by people who play by the rules pack.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, I'm Kevin Wheeler, and I want to talk to you about Ophthalmology Associates. And of course, they are known as the doctors' doctors because they treat more doctors in the area than any other practice. Now, of course, the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates, Dr. Birdie, Malhotra, Brasati, and Royer, are experts in their fields. They diagnose and treat all kinds of diseases of the eye, from dry eye to allergy eyes to cataracts to macular degeneration, glaucoma, and they can obviously consult on LASIK surgery as well and perform that surgery for you as well. The most important thing I can tell you, and it's what I learned when I visited Dr. Malhotra, is to stay ahead of the game. Get your appointment done, get your eyes checked out, and cut off potential problems in the future as early as possible. Give them a call to set up an appointment, 314-966-5000 or yourEyeDoc.com. You'll find Ophthalmology Associates 1/2 mile west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, 314-966-5000 or yourEyeDoc.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a sunny sky and 57 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
My biggest concern is people are smart and stay safe. This is the time you now have to hunker down.
Federal emergency management officials say resources are in place to help Florida through the life-threatening dangers from Hurricane Ian. Florida Senator Rick Scott, who's guided Florida through countless hurricanes as its former governor, is urging residents to be careful.
It's going to be devastating. We got a lot of low-lying areas on the West Coast where we're going to see this storm surge. And just remember, water is what kills you. You know, you just got to be very careful with this unbelievable storm surge and the amount of rain we're going to have and the amount of flooding we're going to see.
I'm Stephen Portnoy in Washington. President Biden says he spoke with Governor Ron DeSantis last night and the mayors of Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater yesterday.
I made it clear to the governor and the mayors that the federal government is ready to help in every single way possible.
At a White House conference on hunger, Mr. Biden urged Floridians to listen to local officials.
Use their judgment, not yours.
And he had this message for the oil and gas industry.
Do not use this as an excuse to raise gasoline prices or gouge the American people.
North Korea has test-launched a missile on the eve of Vice President Kamala Harris's trip to Seoul, South Korea.
The South's Joint Chiefs of Staff says it detected the North's missile launch, but has given no further details, such as when and where the weapon was fired and how far it traveled. The launch is the second by Pyongyang this week. The nation's dialed up its testing activities to a record pace in 2022, testing more than 30 ballistic weapons, including its first intercontinental ballistic missiles since 2017. Kamala Harris is arriving in South Korea on Thursday for talks with President Yoon Suk-yeol and other officials. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Researchers at Rutgers and Fordham universities are sounding a new alarm for letting kids sleep later.
The new study finds moving high school start times later could help teenagers cope with mental health issues coming out of the pandemic. Researchers and psychologists say shorter sleep makes it harder to regulate emotions that are already going through wild swings during adolescence.
That's CBS's Deborah Rodriguez. The St. Louis County Parks Foundation and the County Parks Department are rebuilding an 1894 African-American schoolhouse in Faust Park. The log cabin, donated to the county last year, was originally built on Wild Horse Creek Road in Chesterfield. 91-year-old Doris Frazier was a substitute teacher at African Schoolhouse Number 4.
Can you imagine what it was like trying to teach from 1 to 8th grade in a one-room school? That's what I remember.
The County Parks Department is looking for donations of any materials used at the school back in the day, such as books. The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk, a new page has been turned in aviation history.
It was billed as the world's first all-electric commuter flight east of Seattle.
We were able to witness history in the making. The flight lasted for 8 minutes. We flew 3,500 feet in altitude.
Gregory Davis is CEO of Eviation, the company that built the prototype plane, powered by more than 20,000 small battery cells weighing 4 tons, taking up half the craft's weight. The plane can carry 9 passengers and 2 pilots. The plan is to be ready for commercial and cargo use in 5 years. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
The Dow from Stifel's up 367 points to 29,502. We've got a stalled on 55 South past Potomac on the right shoulder, 270 north before 6440 on the right shoulder, 6440 west at Woods Mill Road on the right shoulder.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunny and up to 68 this afternoon. Clear, chilly, down in the 40s tonight, and then back up to near 70 with sunshine tomorrow. Mid to upper 70s to near 80 heading into the weekend. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore and the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sunny and 60 in Florissant, 61 St. Peter's, 57 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by News Nation.
Chris Cuomo is back with a new show on a new network. Cuomo premieres on News Nation Monday, October 3rd at 8/7 Central. To find News Nation on your television provider, go to newsnation.com/join us.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
All right, it's 11:05 on the show. Chris Ranji, Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler, and Trending is brought to you by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Connellville. Well, obviously, the number one trend in the U.S. is Hurricane Ian. We touched on it a little bit at the beginning of the show. And in a few minutes, we're going to talk to a couple of folks who live in Venice, who are down there now in the middle of all of this. And it's brutal for people to go through it. I mean, you look at the map and where it's going through. It's kind of Fort Myers, Punta Gorda, like right, just all of the area just south of Tampa and Sarasota. It looks like Sarasota is probably going to get hit pretty hard in all of this too. But some crazy video. I don't know how much you guys have seen on Twitter, but the one we referred to at the beginning was these two guys are in Key West. Their apartment's flooding. There's 15 inches of water in less than an hour coming into their main floor, and they're walking through look like at least knee-high, if not thigh-high water outside their home, carrying their giant dog. That's how bad it is. I mean, this is, by the way, why if you're in those coastal areas or if you're in the Keys, leave.
Yes.
Like, leave when they tell you it's time to leave. Because when you're in the Keys, there's only one way out. That's it. US 1. That's it. There's one way out. Unless you have a plane or a boat, you can obviously leave that way. But driving, there's one path. And it gets really crowded when these things happen. Because when you're stuck there, you literally could be under the ocean.
Well, what's difficult is they can't ever predict the exact path of the hurricane.
Right.
So for days, we thought it was going to be Tampa taking the brunt of it.
Yep.
And Tampa's going to get a considerable amount, but it is sort of shifting course a bit to go just south and maybe to the east of Tampa, to where now, like you said, Sarasota, Fort Myers, those areas are going to get it a lot harder when they probably weren't expecting it to be as bad, but now it's going to be bad. So when you have an entire coast of people, millions of people who live on that coast, does everybody evacuate? It's a difficult question to ask and to answer, because you think, well, I don't want to go through all of this, get out of here, and then I never needed to leave, and it's difficult anyway, but you got to be safer and make sure you do the right thing so that you aren't in a position where you can't get out and it does get really bad.
And it's all bad, right? Like the wind, all of those things are very damaging, but the worst part's the tidal surge. So if you're in the coastal area, you're in more danger. If you're inland a mile or two, you're going to have wind and rain and possibly tornadoes and all of that. So you're not out of the woods,
right?
But you don't have that one really important element, which of course is the tidal surge.
And one of the differences between that and what happened here a few months ago, obviously it's not ocean water, but we didn't know it was going to be that way. Like, the people were surprised at the amount of rain we got so quickly. Something like this, at least you do have some notice and you can make some preparations.
Yeah, it's still, if you live in Florida and you've lived in Florida for a long time, chances are you've had to evacuate before.
Yeah.
So we throw out the phrases like, all right, it's good, you need to evacuate. But when you put yourself in that position, that's a really big deal. Leaving your home,
it is.
leaving all of your
Boarding up.
belongings, boarding up, taking only the necessities of what you can carry in your car or wherever it is you're going, and then leaving your home not knowing when you'll be back or if your home will even still be standing when you get back. I feel like it's easy to gloss over the emotional and psychological toll this must take on Florida residents.
You also have to have a place to go.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you can get a hotel further inland, or maybe you go up to Georgia or whatever.
Not everybody can.
No, right. Not everybody can afford all of those things if you have family. So our example was in Hurricane Andrew in 1992. My then fiance, now wife, we were driving down for our our junior year in college. And this was before internet, cell phones, satellite radio, all that. We didn't even know the hurricane was hitting Florida until we stopped in Valdosta, Georgia for the night on the way down. And we were like, oh, probably shouldn't go down there.
Yeah.
So what we did is we stayed in Tampa with family members. My aunt and uncle lived there. So it was an easy choice for us to be able to say, all right, we'll just go there and go. And then because our friends are dumb and told us we should come down the day after, we went down there and just we're in the middle of a war zone.
Yeah.
There's no running water, no electricity. I mean, I mentioned earlier, boats on top of buildings, trees everywhere, power lines down everywhere. It was as bad as you could possibly imagine. And we just kept going. We got there and turned around and left. And barely got out of like Dade County into Broward County before we could get gas. We almost ran out of gas. And the lines at the gas stations that were actually functioning were miles long.
Yeah.
And a lot of them weren't even functioning. They were just shut down.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow. Well, in totally different news, Lizzo is trending.
Oh.
Lizzo's tour stopped in Washington, D.C. at the Capital One Arena, where, and you'll never be able to guess what I'm going to say next, where she played a crystal flute that is 200 years old and was once owned by former President James Madison. This flute may have been among one of the very few things that First Lady Dolly Madison saved when the British troops set fire to the White House in 1814. So it's a crystal flute, clear glass flute, and Lizzo played a few notes on the flute. She said she was the first person to ever play the flute, the crystal flute, but it seemed very random and also very cool.
It's a random
she was
gift.
playing this flute.
It's a random gift to James Madison from the French.
Yeah. Well, it does seem kind of French, though.
Yeah.
A fancy flute.
I guess. Did he play the flute? I almost said does. No, he's not done anything in a very long time.
Yeah.
Did he play the flute?
Well, he didn't play that one, it seems.
Well, I guess not.
But Dolly Madison saved it. But don't you think a glass flute would be one of those things? It's one of the most shocking things is that it hasn't broken in 200 years.
Well, if nobody's touched it.
I chip a cereal bowl. I've got cereal bowls that I've chipped.
Well, you're clumsy.
Yeah, but you also used them.
It's true. But it survived a war.
Doesn't it sound like an episode of like a Lord of the Rings show?
The glass flute.
Like the Fellowship of the Glass Flute.
You were such a nerd.
I know I am.
She is a classically trained flautist. Lizzo
Is that how you say it?
I think so.
It's not flutist?
I don't know.
I know this. Flautas at a Mexican restaurant.
Very
really
good. Yeah, I love a flauta.
Flautas are awesome.
What are flautas?
Well, it's got bread.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's another version of
a tortilla.
A taco, a tortilla.
Torta?
Yeah, it's soft. It's a soft
like a
shell
torta
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Torta's a sandwich.
I knew that.
Okay, you couldn't tell.
Kevin says I like tortas.
I like turtles.
So guess what's trending today, kids? 12 and 12.
What?
12 and, I'm sorry, 12 and 22.
12. I was saying
12 and 22 is trending
I have no
today.
idea what 12 and 12 means. I know what 12 and 22 means.
Are we forcing it a little bit by doing it that way?
Maybe.
Like 11
so
and
11 and
11,
11 I get it.
Yeah.
12 and 12, I understood. You're
Yeah.
trying to repeat, but now
Yeah.
12 and 22.
12 and 22 is just a fact. You know what I mean? It's just a thing. It's
Well,
just what it would be. It's nothing
well,
clever.
yes. Yeah, I agree with you.
11 and
So-
11 is kind of fun.
For people who don't know what we're talking about, 10 years ago, that was the hashtag for the
Mhm.
Cardinals winning their 11th championship in 2011.
Mhm.
That happened. And then in 2012, if they would have won again, it would have been their 12th championship.
Right.
Didn't happen. Didn't work out that way. But now we are looking for 12 in 22. And that is trending today on Twitter because the Cardinals have won the National League Central. They did so clinching last night with a week to play.
12/22 sounds like a credit card expiration date, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it could be. It could be a lot of things.
Also sounds like a time of day.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It could be a year that we really didn't want to be alive. You know,
man, I would not. That
Oh,
in
yeah.
12/22,
all those years. Yeah. I don't. What's the?
when people were wearing metal.
What's the?
You know,
Yeah.
I don't,
What's the
I'm not into it.
earliest you would have want to have lived and experienced what humans experienced?
78.
1978.
When I was one,
That's a
Amy
good
said,
answer.
Amy,
That's a good answer.
you saying anything after like 1850 is
Because,
a,
no, here's the thing.
Here's the problem though. You're literally like your mindset is from like 1750, but you would not want to live then.
No, I have no skills. I have no practical ability. I could never be Little House on the Prairie. I'm so worthless. I have a 2022 skill set with like 1920 sensibilities.
I'm
I
just
don't know.
thinking of Amy the settler. You know, the
Oh,
settler
my
going
gosh.
out
Oh,
west. Like,
man.
what can you do? I can run a long
I
way.
can't do anything.
I can run
literally-
kind of fast for a long, long time. And they'd say, okay, we have
Well,
horses. What do
yeah.
we need you to do that for?
Right.
When's the earliest you would have wanted to live?
God, that's a great. Maybe like the 1920s.
Yeah,
Like the
that's
Roaring 20s?
Okay.
Yeah. Right before
Right
everything went
after-
to hell.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you would have
After the war.
So after World War One,
After World War One.
the sweet spot before the Great Depression.
Yes, when people were just
So would
getting
you want
loose.
to die in the 20s? Because then you have the Depression.
No,
World War II.
I'll like quantum leap back to
Yeah,
the.
yeah. Ron just and plus you would make a good flapper.
Yeah, you
well.
would be a flapper girl.
I get well, whatever.
Doing the Lindy.
Hey, I'm just here to have a good time.
That's what the 20s were all about.
That's right.
God, the earliest that I would want to be around. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait.
I love so many like modern electrical things. I don't know that I'd really love it, but part of me wants to say like the revolution times.
Oh,
Like,
well,
but after it though, like after we
after
won,
the revolution.
after we
Okay.
won,
Hey,
before the
guys.
Civil War.
Do you know why I also wouldn't want to go back further than 1978? Because I wouldn't be allowed to run marathons. They didn't have the first.
You wouldn't be
women's-
allowed to do anything.
Well, 1978.
Yeah.
They didn't let women run the Olympic marathon until 1984. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Because they thought their ovaries would fall out.
Look, we can't have you running with your lady parts flying out. Gotta keep those in there. It's not safe for you.
Hey, quick information. Quick information from the text line. 618 texting in saying it's either flutist or flautist. They're both correct.
Thank you.
You can basically do a coin toss and a coin toss.
I've done that.
I did that for Trish.
I've done that.
I did that for Trish. She's
Trish,
listening.
A coin
Trish and
toss.
coin cost. But they also the same texter said that a famous flutist named James Galway said that he preferred it flutist. I prefer that too because if I heard flautist, it wouldn't be the first thing that came to mind is that you're playing a flute.
Right.
But if you say flutist, you're playing a flute.
Yeah.
Because I'm
'Cause
simple.
So
if
I
you're
guess Lizzo is a
If
flutist.
If you're a flautist, it sounds like you're flouting something. You're defining.
That's what
something.
that's
Yes,
exactly
I
what
agree.
Yep.
Yep. 100%.
All right, that's settled.
Very good. Very good. All right, coming up next, we're going to check in down in Venice, Florida. So Venice, Florida is pretty much right where Hurricane Ian is making landfall today. Got a couple of residents down there that have friends up here. We're going to check in and just see what it's like down there right now when we come back on the show.
Well, STL Fenceworks has been family owned and operated for over 50 years and locally owned and operated for over 50 years. That's when Russ and Carolyn Long opened STL Fenceworks back in 1971. Hey, speaking of the 70s, and now their son, Sean Timothy Long, he runs the company. Sean Timothy Long. He's the STL and STL Fenceworks now. Now, they can help you with any leisure space project. And what's so great about STL Fenceworks is that they are the #1 fence and deck contractor in the state of Missouri. And they've been able to leverage that position to make sure that they have all of the materials and supplies on hand right now in stock, no long lead-in time so that they can complete your project in a timely manner. And yes, your project will be completed by an experienced craftsman, and also those projects will be backed by their lifetime warranty that surpasses anything else offered in the industry. You can know that your project will be done with quality, in a timely manner, and also at affordable prices at STL Fenceworks. That's STLFenceworks.com.
We play to win. There's a comebacker. Helsley has it on the mound. Runs toward first. Flips to Goldschmidt. And the Cardinals can celebrate.
Congratulations, St. Louis Cardinals.
We play to win. A Central Division title.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Get ready, because here they come.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's Beatlemania all over again with the Fab Four, the ultimate tribute to the Beatles. Entertainment Tonight says seeing the Fab Four is just like seeing the Beatles.
Hey, Jude.
The Fab Four takes you through the 60s with the music that changed our lives.
Yesterday.
It's a show you won't want to miss.
Saturday, October 1st at the Family Arena. Tickets now on sale at the Carroll House box office, located at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster.
It's the Sail On Tour 2022, starring Orleans, Firefall,
You are the woman that I've always dreamed of.
Peter Beckett, the voice of Player, John Ford Kohler, Walter Egan, and the Babies with Sail On Tour 2022. Saturday, October 15th at the Family Arena. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different how? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available, and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, September 28th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is unprecedented, worth hundreds of dollars. But call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
The voice of St. Louis. News that matters to you. KMOX.
It's 11:22 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, Kors, Kevin Wheeler here. And obviously, one of the news items we're tracking today is Hurricane Ian, which is making landfall in Florida at this point. And it's making landfall a little further south than everybody thought yesterday. Yesterday, the target area was kind of Tampa, St. Pete. Today, it's shifted a little further south towards the Fort Myers, Cape Coral area. Well, we've got a couple of folks that are joining us on the phone line now. It'll be Nancy and Will Esser. They're in Venice, Florida, which is kind of in between Tampa, St. Pete, and Fort Myers. And first of all, Nancy, Will, thank you guys for doing this. How are things right now?
Good morning. We're doing okay. We've got a lot of heavy wind here. We lost power about 9:20 our time, so that's been about 3 hours ago. But other than some pretty heavy wind and rain, everything is okay. We're shuttered up here and holding tight.
Are you in an area that has either been instructed to prepare to evacuate, or do you expect that announcement?
We don't expect that announcement. We are in Zone C. We are about 3 miles from the beach as the crow flies, and the areas over on the beach, that's of course A, and then B, I think, is a little further inland with some flooding issues. So they have been evacuated. We have not.
And Will, I know you're there too, and it is we're all paying attention, obviously, and hoping that things stay relatively calm as they are for you at the moment. What are the major concerns, though, for where you are specifically?
Well, our major concern, I think, is getting them to restore power. We live in a concrete home, so one story. We're not all that concerned. We've got all of our hurricane preparations. Our shutters are up, and the garage door has been barricaded. So we're fairly confident in the structure, but restoration of power is probably our biggest concern.
Yeah, and so, you said the garage door is barricaded. What other preparations do you have to do for this? We always see windows boarded up. So beyond that, what can you do? What are people in your area doing?
Well, we got batteries, the normal stuff, batteries, and we've got some portable lighting. We filled the bathtub with water. We've got extra water on hand and extra ice, and we have plenty of limes.
Hopefully you got some tequila to go with those limes. Might need to have a drink as this goes along.
So living in that area, how often have you had to take these preparations over the course of your residency there?
We've been here about 4.5 years, and this is the first time that we've had to put hurricane shutters up. So I understand that in 2017, they had a major storm similar to this, only not quite to this magnitude, and they didn't even lose power in our neighborhood. So already we're experiencing something that's a little worse than it was about 5 years ago.
So you said it's been, the two of you said it's not been super bad right now. Has there been any part of this where you felt like there was some intensity, or are we just still anticipating that that's still heading your way?
The worst is still yet to come,
Right.
based on what I see online, and that should be around 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon.
How are you guys keeping up with the information, trying to follow what's happening, what you are in line for?
Well, we are on our cell phones, obviously, and actually there are some folks in our neighborhood, our brother and sister-in-law, Tom and Bobby Novell, that still have power. So we're in contact with them, and they're keeping us up to date on what's going on. We've also called the power company, and they said they're working on it, but I can't expect any quick recovery in this and under these conditions.
Right.
Just from a local perspective, whether it's your city's mayor to Governor Ron DeSantis, what kind of communication are you getting from the top levels down? I imagine that all of your news right now in Florida is focused on Ian.
Yeah, that was pretty much what's going on in the news this morning when we did have the TV up. We have constant alerts on our phone from Sarasota County, everything about the evacuation zones, whether shelters are open, things like that.
Well, we hope for the best for you. I mean, my parents live on the upper East Coast near Jacksonville. They've already had to go through this a couple of times since they've been down there. And obviously, I went to college down there and have been through both tropical storms and Hurricane Andrew. We know it's tough. Hopefully, you guys, the loss of power is the worst that you deal with. But you guys stay safe. And hopefully, if we hear from you again, it's under good circumstances with things getting back to normal. But thanks for doing this.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
You've got it. That's Will and Nancy Esser. They're in Venice, Florida. So if you look at the map now and where the hurricane is still out over the water where they are. It's kind of heading up that direction, kind of on a diagonal course up towards the northeastern part of the state, but it's just made landfall kind of in the Fort Myers area and hasn't quite reached them yet, and already without power, which kind of tells you the story, right? It's not fully there yet, and you're already without power, and that power is not coming back while the storm is still going, so it's going to be a long haul for them.
There aren't many things I'm good at, but I was born with a talent for start. It's like the difference between poking someone with your finger a little bit and punching them as hard as you can. And that is what it feels like in the world where everyone is just rearing back and throwing haymakers so that 18 people will like their tweet. And there's a possibility it goes viral because I was so mean or I was so this or so that. And personally, it just kind of like, ugh.
A little snark and a whole lot more. The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Cancer is a journey from diagnosis through treatment and beyond. Cancer Support Community of Greater St. Louis is there every step through emotional and physical challenges to help those affected to find the hope they need, and all programs and services are free. You can help by supporting CSC's annual fundraising campaign, Hope After Dark. Y98's Julie Tristan will MC the event on October 6th at Palm Health. For complete information, visit cancersupportstl.org. That's cancersupportstl.org.
For 30 years, Banner Construction has offered the finest home exterior solutions, featuring James Hardy and Pella Windows to give your home a beautiful new look. Today, people are finding there's no safer place to invest than in your home. But it's important to choose the right contractor, and Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy specialist. Call now to get scheduled for early spring. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. That's 569-1050 or bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
Why are some people afraid to enjoy their retirement? And why are some people so worried about spending money during their golden years? Maybe it's because they're afraid of running out of money. Maybe they're afraid of depleting their nest egg, either through spending too much or through investment strategies that could result in losses. Hi, my name is Ken Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. Do you have a fear of depleting your savings and running out of money too soon? Let me help put your mind at ease. I can help you create an optimal retirement income distribution strategy that helps to maximize income from your retirement savings and eliminate your fear of running out of money. Call 314-328-4400 today and schedule your complimentary retirement roadmap review with our team. That's 314-328-4400. Again, 314-328-4400.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
At 11:30, it's sunny and 58 degrees downtown at the Arch. The National Hurricane Center says Ian's most damaging winds have begun hitting Florida's southwest coast as the storm approaches landfall. The Hurricane Center rapidly intensified overnight, gaining top winds of 155 miles per hour. That puts Ian just shy of devastating Category 5 hurricane status. In Charlotte County, Florida, Emergency Management Director Patrick Fuller says first responders are no longer able to effect rescues. He says 911 call lines are open but can only offer limited assistance.
911 will remain operating, and those who are experiencing emergency situation are encouraged to call 911 in those situations, though we are unable to respond at this point.
The Archdiocese of St. Louis has informed St. Mary's and Rosati Kane High Schools that this is their final year. Both will shut down as part of the Catholic Church's All Things New restructuring plan. Stall 44 west at 270 south on the right shoulder, 55 south past Potomac on the right shoulder, 270 north before 6440, and 6440 west at Woods Mill on the right shoulder. This afternoon, plenty of sunshine with a high of 68 degrees. Tonight, we'll have a clear sky and an overnight low of about 47 degrees. For tomorrow, plenty of sun with a high of 70, and for Friday, pleasant with plenty of sun and a high of 75. Sponsored by Metro Transit. Hey, mechanics, quick question. You getting paid what you're worth? No, you can change that. Metro Transit is now hiring mechanics, starting pay over $30 an hour, full benefits, 401k, signing bonuses, and more. Visit work@metrostl.com today and get your worth. Sunny sky, 58 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
We are all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. September is World Ozone Month, so it's a great month to get rid of all your aerosol sprays and harsh cleaning products. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
Buy today and save tomorrow with Lombardo Homes. Your dream home is within reach. Interest rates are on the rise, but home ownership is still affordable. In fact, Lombardo Homes will buy 2 points off your loan, bringing down your rate by as much as 0.75% when you sign your Lombardo Homes purchase agreement. This means lower monthly mortgage payments and more money for the things that matter. Restrictions apply. Please see sales manager for details. Visit LombardoHomes.com for community details, floor plans, pricing, and home site availability.
Summer is here, and that means grilling season is in full force at Cotton's Ace Hardware. At Cotton's Ace Hardware, you'll receive free assembly, free delivery, free haul away of your old grill, and free fuel for your new grill purchase of $300 or more. That's a $169 savings value. With your selection from Weber to Traeger and your local retailer of the Big Green Egg, Cotton's Ace Hardware makes it easier than ever to replace your old grill. To find your nearest St. Louis location, go to cottonsace.hardware.com.
Albert Pujols comes to bat.
Cardinals slugger Albert Pujols talks with Tom Ackerman Mondays at 9:50.
He hits a fly ball left field, and it's gone!
Exclusively on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It's 11:34 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, Kors, and Kevin Wheeler with you here. So we've been following the story. The state Senate in Missouri is worked to pass some income tax cuts. And, obviously, a lot of people like the fact they're going to keep some more of their own money. And one person, or at least one person with some help, I'm assuming, is looking to maybe eliminate the state income tax at some point. And that is State Senator Bob Onder, who, of course, is from the 2nd District in the St. Charles area. First of all, Senator, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
And we're glad to have you. And again, just make sure I categorize that correctly. Certainly, we all know that the passing of the income tax cuts is already in process, already happening, but you would like to take that a little further.
Well, I sure would. Yes. What we're looking at doing this session, and I think this is a great opportunity given that last year, hold on to your seats, we had a $4.4 billion surplus revenue in the state of Missouri. We had a budget last year of $47 billion. That's actually more money than the state of Illinois with twice as many people. This is a great opportunity to make some progress on cutting income taxes and moving in the right direction, which is, I believe, the right direction towards zero. So what we'll be doing if the final product looks anything like the Senate bill that we passed last week, is immediately or over the first couple of years, reducing our income tax from 5.3 to 4.8%. And then provided certain revenue triggers are met over the next few years, reducing the rate to 4.5%. And I think this is important because if you look at the states that have had the greatest population growth, the greatest job growth, and the greatest opportunities for people of their state, it is those 9 states with no income tax. And of course, everyone's familiar with Florida and Texas, and you hear people say, well, they have sunlight and they have beaches, but no, you even states like Tennessee, for instance, have a low income tax and are really thriving. So I believe in the long term that is the direction we should be going as a state. Although not likely to happen this year, but I think that is the way we should go.
The individual income tax revenue is the largest single source of money for the state of Missouri. Is there any concern that eliminating that even gradually could handicap the state in its ability to maintain a positive budget?
Yeah, well, that's a good question, Amy. And that's why beginning in 2014, when the Missouri legislature passed our first big income tax cut, Senate Bill 509, which over time has brought our income tax rate from 6% down to where it stands right now at 5.3%. Those tax cuts have always been contingent on certain revenue targets being met. I remember that 2014 was the year I was elected to the Missouri Senate. I remember the predictions that we would have these catastrophic declines in revenue. We wouldn't have any money for schools or roads or public safety. None of that has come to pass. We've gone from a budget of about $20 billion when Senate Bill 509 was passed to a budget of $47 billion for the current fiscal year. But there's no question, when you go actually down to zero, you do have to replace those revenues. And that's why, again, gradually shifting toward other revenue sources, I think is good, because we know that taxes on production, on income, are the most destructive in terms of economic growth. So if you look at the states that people are exiting from, like California, New Jersey, Connecticut, they have among the highest income taxes, and they also have the worst fiscal situations. They're all struggling with excessive debt and really not balancing their budget, relying on all sorts of budgetary gimmicks to pretend they're balancing their budget. But yeah, it's a very important issue, and I think we need to do it responsibly. But over the long term, I think we should do it.
So as you say, you do have to replace the revenues. If it's not going to come from income tax, where does it specifically come from? What are the other streams you're looking at?
Yeah, many times we can perform essential public services with user fees. You hear this discussed a lot when you talk about the gas tax, the transportation fuel tax. By and large, in Missouri, we don't fund our roads and our bridges from general revenue. We fund it through the gas tax. Certainly other streams like property taxes, excise taxes. Again, in general, user fees as opposed to taxing people's income.
Bob Onder is with us here on KMOX. Kind of following up on that, Bob, is there a possibility that some of what you would lose by cutting down to zero could be at least in part replaced if, say, sports gambling is legalized or marijuana is legalized, opening up new tax areas where taxes can be taken? You mentioned those other states, they can survive on tourism tax and things along those lines, but we do still want to find ways to incentivize people to stay here or come here for businesses purposes. Is that kind of the idea of how you could balance it out long term? That's right. That's right. You do have to look at the other revenue sources. It really, of course, Missourians do have internet gambling. It's just not regulated or taxed in Missouri, and that's something that has been a topic of discussion for years. Mm-hmm. In the Missouri legislature, and I think we do need to do it. I'm not a big fan of legalizing marijuana, but yes, the taxes on legalizing marijuana, both medical and recreational, are going to be substantial. So yeah, some of these other revenue streams and shifting away from taxing people's hard-earned income is the way I believe we should go.
You mentioned the $4.4 billion revenue budget surplus, general revenue budget surplus. How much of that, if any, is some of the $10 billion of federal funding that the state of Missouri received as pandemic relief?
Yeah, quite a bit of it. I don't know the exact number, but over half is federal money, which I think the follow-up question would be, isn't this one-time money? And I think a lot of it is, but a lot of it was rebound from the government-induced recession, allegedly in response to COVID. And really, again, I think when we look at our revenues since we passed the big tax cut bill, Senate Bill 509, in 2014, revenues have grown steadily, and the predictions that this will be catastrophic and we won't have money to fund our schools and our roads, it just have not come to pass.
If the first phase of the top state income tax rate drop would be 5.3%, drop it down to 4.95% beginning next year.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the estimated cost to the state of these income tax reductions?
Yeah, we're probably, and there are different estimates, but we're probably talking about $500 million. So, in all honesty, and by the way, we already have for 2 quarters been in a recession, and revenues are continuing to grow. So the cost estimates are around $500 million plus or minus. But the trigger for that drop from 495 to 465 to 485 to 48. That would take another 200 million in revenue growth to trigger that.
Gotcha. So the drop in income tax rate would be contingent on 175 million in the first year and 200 million in the second.
That is correct. 175 being the old triggers, and then the 200 million in the second would bring us down to 4.8.
You did say that there was a lot of concern that there would not be money for schools, there would not be money for roads and the things that all of us here in the area use. Why do you think that hasn't happened? Why do you think those fears have not been realized? And is it maybe still a matter of time those things happen?
Yeah, I don't think so, because it has been consistent since the tax cut was passed in 2014. Revenue growth has with like 1 year exception, the revenue growth has been steadily increasing. And the reason is that these tax cuts are fairly modest in terms of a $443 billion budget, and our economy can grow. And by incentivizing more growth, more job creation, those revenues will continue to grow. But again, the legislature took a very cautious approach back in 2014, and we're doing that again here in 2022. So we're gradually working in the right direction, which is lower personal income taxes.
Bob, is it a fair question to ask whether or not, even if there is extra now, that could still be pushed towards things that are not done? I think a lot of us would agree that not all of the problems that we have to solve are solved. Is there an argument for that, hey, we could take that extra and still improve upon what we're already doing?
Well, our funding for instance, K through 12 education and higher education is at an all-time high. And there was an enormous increase in funding for public education in the last couple of years in the name of COVID. We have a lot of problems in education in the state of Missouri, but they are not due to lack of money. Many times they're due to the interests of special interests, the school superintendents, the administrators, the teachers unions, their interests as opposed to the interests of children and their families. I think a lot of parents' eyes were open during COVID because they saw what their kids were learning when they're online, and they did not like their kids being indoctrinated into race ideology or gender ideology. So we have many problems in the state of Missouri. Public safety. We have huge public safety problems, especially in our major cities. Those are not due to the lack of state funding. They're due to prosecutors who don't want to prosecute crime. So no, I think we do not have a revenue or a spending problem in the state of Missouri. We're nowhere near having too little revenue or too little spending. If anything, we probably have a little too much spending in some areas.
And just as a follow-up to that, finally, because I would imagine that that's different from district to district, right? When we're talking schools, some don't have the funding that others do. Is there any reason why we wouldn't want to maybe level that playing field a bit?
Yeah, I think that is correct. I think the so-called school foundation formula is long overdue to being revisited so that our funding is distributed in the right ways. At the same time, I think our biggest problems in public education today fail from a lack of empowering parents to do and choose the education that's best for their child, and instead looking out for special interests who lobby our legislature. No question, we can look at how those public education dollars are distributed.
Bob, we appreciate the information and your time today. Thanks so much. I'm sure we'll reach out again at some point soon.
Sounds terrific. Have a great day.
Out-of-state Senator Bob Onder out of St. Charles County. I think that those are kind of the questions, right? Like all of us like to get, I would like to keep more of my income, right? I mean, I think all of us would like to keep more.
Well, obviously.
But right. But I think that's why the follow-up is, okay, are we actually doing everything we need to do? And there's certainly going to be an argument on that. There's no solution to it. I can't say yes or no. Obviously, Bob would say, no, we're good. We're covered. We can cover what we need to, even with the cuts. I think there's a counter argument to that as well. I don't think there's agreement, though.
No, I'm not sure what he's talking about with race and indoctrination. That I don't know what that is, but clearly there are still needs in the state, and having a surplus is a great thing. Just a matter of keeping that surplus, or at least keeping us above water a bit.
But it is an interesting point that, the new revenues that could be coming in that we've talked a lot about with, legalized sports gambling and legalizing.
Going to have to take advantage eventually, even if you don't want to.
Right. And if those things come in, maybe that is the offset where people can keep more as opposed to dealing with higher income taxes. And maybe that is also an incentive for hiring people from out of state to move here, right? I mean, when you consider jobs, you're going to look at everything that goes into moving to that new place. What are the property taxes? What's the state income tax? What's it going to mean for my salary? Do I have to change that? So that can have a benefit, but it's obviously a long-term thing that may not be measurable at this point. So,
yeah, and to the point of the schools or the cities too, I think whichever side you fall on the argument, the direction the schools are taking or the direction our major cities are taking, it just shows how the money can be there. But if there's dysfunction in the local governments, whether it is school boards, city governments, what have you, that money can sit there and it may not be used wisely. Kind of like the city of St. Louis right now has a lot of money. Has a lot of money coming towards it from the NFL lawsuit to federal funding, but we've obviously got dysfunction. So again, falling on either side, there's a lot of dysfunction where the money sits there, and it's frustrating because it could be used in much better, more efficient ways.
And that's true in St. Louis, but statewide, they're not getting that money from the NFL, for example. And there are districts that are underfunded versus those that have plenty because the tax base is higher in some places. I mean, there's a reason why people send their kids to certain school systems.
Yeah.
Suburban Leisure Center has gas logs in stock, priced to sell. While you're at home, why not be comfortable and warm this season? We have gorgeous gas logs with easy-to-use remote controls. Come on in and check out our awesome sales throughout our grand showroom and at suburbanleisurecenter.com. Our spectacular sale is featuring gas logs that are so easy to use and will keep you warm and cozy at home. Suburban Leisure Center on Olive, 1 mile west of 141 in Chesterfield, home of the Big Red Chair.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/communitybanking. This summer, the Little Bit Foundation lost their huge warehouse and headquarters in the flood. It's both a heartbreaking and inspirational story, with Busey and the community helping. Listen to our September podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/communitybanking.
We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find your one thing. Fruits and vegetables are very environmentally friendly foods. Make them even more friendly by eating them in season and choosing produce that is local and organic. Shopping at farmers markets are a great way to do both. And you can also start growing fruits and vegetables in your own garden. Even if you live in an apartment, you can start with a few potted plants. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight. Or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, September 28th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is unprecedented, worth hundreds of dollars. But call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory services offered through All Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuity products offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
In business since 1957, we've seen many competitors come and go. Hi, I'm Chuck Easter with Easter Fence Deck and Renovations. Many companies pass away with the owners, and the customers are left with useless promises and warranties. At Easter, we are in the 3rd generation and have a succession plan. You know we'll be here to honor our warranty, which is the best in the industry, and take care of all of your fence, deck, and outdoor construction needs. Call 314-892-8500 or easterfence.com.
Easter Fence Deck and Renovations, where customers become friends.
Charlie Brennan sees clearly thanks to Dr. Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000. Get started with the Vision Walk today and form your Vision Walk team to raise money for a cure. For more information, go to visionwalk.org or call 314-852-7223.
If you're trying to sell a home, there's only one agent in town that I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Hi, I'm Mandy Moore. Stand Up to Cancer is closer than ever before to achieving its mission to make every cancer patient into a long-term survivor. To learn more and get Advantage miles, go to standuptocancer.org/American Airlines.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Who is this guy?
Kevin Wheeler
With exaggerated mouth and tongue movements.
on the show.
All right, back in on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, and Kevin Wheeler with you here on a Wednesday.
I had a text message come in during our discussion with Bob Onder, and we appreciate him coming on and giving us his ideas on the tax breaks that Missourians are getting. And the text message is from a 314 because Onder brought up something right at the end, and I wish he hadn't brought it up that late. We had to go to break, and because it opened up an entire new discussion, and we would have followed up on it if we had the time to do it. But this text from a 314 says, ask Bob Onder when he was last in a classroom or online education for more than 10 minutes. The problems in education are not what he's saying. As a retired teacher, he is using sound bites and not reality to explain himself. It's infuriating. The indoctrination is ridiculous. It's so frustrated what he said. So frustrated with what he said. And he mentioned race and indoctrination. I don't know what what's he talking about, and what does that have to do with the conversation we were having about some schools being underfunded?
Like, yes, we talked about St. Louis City schools versus, say, the Rockwood School District. Whatever you feel about the curriculum, that has nothing to do with the budget.
It doesn't. Right. And it was nonsensical, and he's welcome to come back on and explain himself, but we didn't have time in that moment.
We'll definitely do that somewhere down the road. We'll definitely do a little counterpoint, maybe bring in someone else to talk about it as well. All right, stick around. We got a whole lot more coming your way. Redbird Report coming up at 12:30 with the Cardinals clinching the Central last night.
The World Trade Center St. Louis is hosting its annual Growing Global Luncheon Friday, September 30th at the Ritz-Carlton in Clayton. With the successful launch of direct flights to Europe, Growing Global 2022 will explore international connectivity and the value and impact of connecting our community and businesses in a 21st century global economy. Registration and sponsorships are available at worldtradecenter-stl.com. Reserve your spot now and join us for Growing Global September 30th.
Carol Daniel here. Leslie Gill, president of Rung for Women, addresses the gender wage gap in our latest episode of PNC C-Speak, the language of executives. She advises employers to stop asking applicants for their previous salary and post the range. PNC C-Speak provides digital storytelling from a C-level perspective on relevant, forward-thinking business approaches. Listen to our 14-minute podcast with Leslie Gill at KMOX.com/PNC C-Speak. PNC C-Speak, the language of executives.
Hi, this is Charlie Brendan. Do you have a home or a business made out of stone or brick? If so, listen up, because Morelli Tuck Pointing is the masonry specialist, serving St. Louis for 31 years. Morelli Tuck Pointing can work on completely solid houses and buildings, spot pointing with color match, brick and stone repair, foundation repair, walkways, porches. This time of year, people notice that their patios are somewhat cattywampus and those bricks need realignment. How about caulking, waterproofing? Morelli is a family-owned and operated business. Longtime employees there feel like family. And of course, everyone at Morelli is very proud to be a recipient of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, which is only given to local companies with exceptional customer service. Today, you can call to request a free and quick estimate at 314-645-1387. When it comes to bricks and stone, go to the best. Morelli Tuck Pointing at MorelliTuckPointing.com.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's sunny and 60 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. The eye of powerful Hurricane Ian moving closer to Florida's southwest coast, already lashing the area with heavy winds and high waves. And there's another concern with this major hurricane. Wink TV meteorologist Matt McDivitt.
And the extreme wind warning, that is something that is extremely rare. That is a product that you can count on two hands how many times that the National Hurricane Center has issued that. They did it with Irma. They're doing it right now to really stress the seriousness.
I'm Peter King in Orlando. We're about 200 miles away from the storm center, but we've been getting its rain here since mid-morning. Thousands of power outages have already been reported in southwest Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis tells Floridians to be prepared for a long haul.
This is not just a 48-hour ordeal. This is going to be something that is going to be there for days and weeks and months, and unfortunately, in some circumstances, even years.
DeSantis says some 40,000 utility workers are on standby to start restoring power when the storm moves on. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
Some Florida evacuees were able to catch a flight out right before Tampa's airport closed because of Hurricane Ian.
When I left the house yesterday, I did have that feeling of saying goodbye.
Alice Honeycutt evacuated her home in St. Petersburg and made it out just in time, flying from Tampa to Washington's Reagan National Airport. She's now staying with family in the D.C. area.
It was definitely a sense of relief.
But it was tense there for a bit.
My flight was at 3:40 and the airport was going to close at 5 o'clock. I was very nervous what I would do if that flight did not take off.
Nick Iannelli for CBS News, Washington.
Some European countries are stepping up security around their gas and energy infrastructure after what many believe was an attack on major gas pipelines from Russia to Europe. CBS News correspondent Cami McCormick has more.
While European countries investigate what caused the underwater leaks, whether it was deliberate or not, the head of the Danish Energy Agency says far more than half of the gas left in the pipelines is gone, and they will likely be empty of gas by the end of the week.
The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk, Ian threatening your morning OJ.
Breakfast is about to cost you more. Orange juice futures surging in price today. Nearly all of Florida's citrus crop is now at risk from Hurricane Ian, expected to make landfall later today. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel up 448 points to 29,583. The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got a stall, 44 west to 270 south on the right side, 55 south past Potomac on the right shoulder, 270 north before 6440 on the right shoulder.
We'll stay in the upper 60s this afternoon with plenty of sunshine. We'll chill down the 40s tonight. We'll get back up to near 70 with sunshine tomorrow. And then Friday into the weekend, warmer, mid-upper 70s to near 80 with some sunshine. As the dry, nice weather continues, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Sunny sky, 62 in Florissant, 63 in St. Peters, and 60 degrees downtown at the Arch right now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
For 30 years, Banner Construction has offered the finest home exterior solutions featuring James Hardy and Pella Windows to give your home a beautiful new look. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. That's 569-1050. Banner Construction.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
So Wong will take off for second base. No, he doesn't actually. And there's a comebacker. Helsley has it on the mound, runs toward first, flips to Goldschmidt, and the Cardinals can celebrate a Central Division title, beating the Milwaukee Brewers tonight 6-2 to win the NL Central.
There you go. Cardinals with the win last night. John Rooney with the play-by-play. He's going to join us coming up at 12:30 for the Redbird Report. And the Cardinals now kind of cruise to the end of the regular season. No pressure, no need to push. Get the division settled a week early, so now you just spend the entire time getting things in order. That's our top story earlier today. And obviously, we're tracking a lot of other things, but I would say that that's probably story number one in St. Louis at the moment.
Story number two is Albert has to play every day. Got to get to 7:14. Not when time's time's running out. Let's
How many
go.
games do they have? 6?
Seven.
Yes,
Oh,
7,
So
including today.
You've got one today with
Okay.
Milwaukee, then you've got 3 at home, and then 3 in Pittsburgh. All of those with the Pirates.
So 2
Season
home runs.
ends
Yeah,
a week from today.
Yes.
2 home runs a day from here on
Yeah,
out.
that's doable.
I mean, he already did it with the Dodgers, right? He had that's why
Yeah,
he
he
got
has, you know.
799 or 699 and
He had
700.
2. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he had 2.
Yeah, you can do that. 2 on Friday.
I just want to say which one of us, I can't remember though. But I know one of us went on the record saying a long time ago that
Yeah, because
Albert
you were
would
just
hit
throwing stuff
700.
at the wall and it happened to stick.
And it was me. That was me.
You
I
actually,
did it.
you actually didn't predict it. You just asked if it was possible.
No, and I said he would.
She did say it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And you both said no because you poo-pooed it.
Yeah, we
because we
poo-pooed.
understand math.
But Amy,
But you got lucky, Amy. It's good.
No, I didn't get lucky. I'm the only
You
one
didn't
with
get lucky. I was
belief.
breaking down film, and I looked at the trends for the batted ball data and figured it out.
Listen, I do my research, and I pretty much knew this would
now
happen.
hold on a second.
You do
Hold
research.
on a
I mean, like,
second.
this is no joke. She does research.
Yeah, no,
but
I'm
not
talk-
on Albert Pujols.
Talk about Kevin over here talking about breaking down game film. Is that what you said you did?
What? No,
Did you say
I was
you were
joking that that's what
Oh,
she
that
was
she
doing.
was doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I thought you said you did. Never
No, no,
mind.
no.
I was. Listen, guys,
You
I bring
threw something at the
receipts.
wall and it stuck. It's okay.
But it's right, so
It
Guess what I
turned out
threw-
to be right.
You know what I threw at the wall? Home run number 700.
That's right.
But
Well,
that
anyway,
doesn't
he
make
hit
any
it.
sense.
Kevin.
Don't interrupt me when I'm making no sense.
I think you're making perfect sense.
Thanks, Ron.
The sense that you made though was just you throwing it against the wall. That's
You
all
know,
it was.
Someone should throw you against a wall.
It's happened. It actually has never
Speaking
happened.
of that, we've got that person on the line.
No, that's never happened.
No.
Not the way you think. All right, so you mentioned what? You need to relax. Everybody in this room needs to relax.
No, that was funny. Well done, dude. Just take the
Some
victory
would
lap.
say
That was
we're a
really
little-
good.
Some would say we're a little too relaxed.
In here?
Yeah.
Probably. What else is trending?
Yeah.
We doing
Well, we're-
trending? No, this is
No,
the
no, we're just kinda
this is
going
we're
over the top
resetting.
stories. The other
it's
top
12.
story-
I don't even know what time it is.
Yeah.
It's just afternoon.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
So what you got is the second day jet lag, right? Because
I'm still in Baltimore as far as you.
Day 2 is worse than day 1.
That's right.
That's where you are. The other
I'm feeling it.
other top story that we were following is obviously the hurricane. It's making landfall in kind of the middle part of the western side of Florida. It's a little south of Tampa. Looks like it's right into Fort Myers and then going up towards Venice, where we had the Essers on. They're
Yeah.
there and in the middle of it. It
Hope-
stinks, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping they stay safe. And it sounds like they're prepared. But the path of the storm, where it is right now, it's not going to be a direct hit on them, but close.
Yeah.
So
It looks like it's going to go through Orlando. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a huge storm. So if you look at it, it's going to hit, it might even get some of Jacksonville all the way up in the Northeast. But, I've got aunts and uncles in the Tampa area. I've got another aunt and uncle north of Orlando. My parents are in Jacksonville. Although they're in Michigan now, so they're safe, but their house is there. So, and we had a texter earlier, actually. Somebody who's up here said he's got a house on Clearwater Beach, and he's not there right now, but he's still scared to death because, well, on the beach is the problem. Like when you're in the coastal areas, that's where the real damage occurs. Not that it doesn't occur from the wind and the tornadoes that can spawn out of a hurricane and all of that, but the biggest damage done is always the tidal surge. And of course, we think of Katrina having that, right? The water doing the most damage with the flooding, but that was also because of the levees breaking. If the levees hadn't broken, I don't think Katrina's anywhere near as big a disaster as it was.
Yeah, and if anyone was following or trying to anticipate a Mean Girls feud between the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, and President Joe Biden that ended last night, President Biden did call Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and the two talked, and the governor thanked the president for the federal help that Florida will be receiving. So, again, there's politics and all of that, and I get it. Obviously, DeSantis.
Funny how that works, though, when you need money.
Well,
when you want money, when you want federal money,
it's-
in that case, we'll play nice.
Well, Biden called
I get it.
DeSantis.
Well,
and
he's the
I
president.
mean, when you're a governor of a state about to face a state of or you're in the middle of a state of emergency facing a hurricane, you would hope that people could put some politics aside because people's lives and livelihoods are
Yeah.
at stake here. So at any rate, if anybody was all into the, ooh, did he call him or not? They've talked, they did what politicians do, and
But it's just also interesting, though, that people that nonstop badmouth the federal government immediately like, oh, but we need help. And again, it's fine.
And the people
You
who
do-
decry handouts
and
are the
it's
first to put their hands out
and
when
it's
they need it.
Totally necessary, by the way. I'm not
Exactly.
in any way
That's-
saying it's wrong. That's kind of the point.
Yes, it
like
is.
the people in Florida need this. They're going to need help because
Yes.
this is going to do a lot of damage.
That's exactly the point. Is that, and I go back to this George Carlin line, which I don't believe, and I've used it so much I can't even remember if this is exactly what he was talking about, but I don't think it was. And he but it fits. Hold on. But it
Kevin, you got me. Yeah.
it fits though, because
Okay.
what he said was, have you ever noticed, and I can't use the exact word he wanted to use, or he did use,
Yeah.
but you ever notice that other people's stuff is crap,
Yeah.
but your crap is stuff? And the overall point he's making when he says that is it's okay when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's important when it's for you. But when it's for other people, then that's when it's waste.
Well, and
that's when it's nonsense.
Yeah, and I get that.
Which
I
is
get
which
what
is
you're
stupid
saying.
thought
It's a
process
great bit,
because
by the way.
it's correct because I think too many people see things that way. Like, it's okay when it's for me because it's necessary for me. But when it's for you, it's not necessary. It's frivolous.
And let's be clear, too. This isn't, the federal help that Florida would be getting is obviously because this is a natural disaster.
Of course. That's exactly.
Versus a program. And just playing the devil's advocate here as a conservative, I can criticize the federal government, but still acknowledge that it's necessary. My big thing is I'm for a smaller government because I think there's a lot of things that the federal government does not do well, and giving it more money and more power does not ensure that it will do those things better. But I also understand that there are some things, of course, that the federal government does very well and that it needs to do. And so you can absolutely, and I'm not speaking as DeSantis here, I'm speaking as a small government conservative, I have no problem saying the federal government should step in and give help in this or certain situations and not in others. And I think a natural disaster like this is one of those issues that I would hope would be pretty clear bipartisan.
Of course.
That the federal government can
Yeah,
help.
but there are a lot of programs that people pay into, and this is not that this is a program, but it is an entity that is there to assist people when it's needed, when it's necessary.
Well, and that's where the fight comes in.
That's
right?
well, yeah. I mean, I think for hurricane relief, natural disaster relief, whatever it is, 100% non-negotiable. It is necessary. You have to do these things. And you can also argue that people around the country, when it comes to free school, for example, free in quotations, people pay taxes. They're paying into that. They're paying into those services. So it's Social Security. That's not free money coming back to you. That's what you've
It's your
paid
money,
into your
yeah.
entire life.
Right.
So all of these things, whether it
A
is
standing military, I think we can all agree.
It's a good thing.
We need a national military. So of course, yes.
But
But
I'm saying
again,
it's what we're talking about is when you're selective about what you think is necessary and what you think is unnecessary.
That's
and
what the fight is over. The fight is about what each group of people thinks is necessary versus unnecessary. And that's why this is all complicated, because we all agree this is necessary, right? I mean, this is easy.
Well, that's my point. As a small government conservative, I think, I would say there's a lot of things that the federal government does that aren't necessary, but I would hope that you would understand, that we agree that this is one of those.
Of course.
things.
Of course.
But I'm not arguing about this. No matter what state it
We're
is.
all on the same page, but there are some things that you might be talking about the people who benefit from them do think is necessary. You may not, but they think it is. And that's the point.
And that's what we all fight about.
Correct. Right.
That's what we're all fighting about.
Right.
But but unfortunately, and this is really the problem, is I think a lot of the arguments are not made specifically enough. People speak in broad, general terms, like the government isn't good or whatever. Well, okay, it's bad at this, and this. So name 3, 4, and 5. Don't just say it doesn't do things well. No, it doesn't do these things well.
Right.
Let's get rid of them or fix them. But here are the things that it does well and is necessary for. Unfortunately, it's the level of it's the language being used to make those arguments that is too generalized rather than specific. It's like complaining about the media, which is thousands and thousands of different voices. They're not all the same. They're not all equal. They're not all coming from the same place. Be specific about which person or outlet you have a complaint about. Then we can have that conversation rather than the broader, it's lawyers. No, it's not lawyers. There may be some lawyers that are bad, but a lot of them are great. And it's like the old joke about lawyers, right? They all suck until you need one.
Yeah.
Right? They're all terrible to you. Well, we got to stop with the generalizations, which I think that was at the heart of the point I'm making.
What did we get? $22 million in federal funding for the trolley? I feel like I could have channeled that somewhere else.
Agreed. There you go. There's an example.
And I understand, it's transportation. It's a trolley between the History Museum.
Well, a trolley
and
is
Del Mar.
transportation. Although I don't think we need that particular one. It is.
But that would be
in
exactly
fact
what I'm talking
transportation.
about.
Yeah.
That would be a great example of a specific thing that was done poorly, was not necessary.
Trimming the fat.
Yes, thank you. Well done. Anything else to add?
Nope.
No.
All right, let's talk about I'm trying to I want to portray this accurately. I'm not trying to be a jerk. But I want to talk about the Texas Attorney General running away from being handed a subpoena
Driving away.
and running.
Running and driving.
Both running
Well, I
to
think
the
his
house
wife was driving.
and then running to the car and then leaving to avoid being handed legal documents. And the irony of it, that is, it's the state's attorney general who's worried about the process
Who among us?
of being served.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Find the perfect gift at Petals Patio and Garden. Explore new inventory of colorful hand-thrown pottery from London's Royal Botanic Gardens. Kew bearing the royal crest. Shop houseplants, boxwood balls, garden tools and accessories, coffee table books, soaps, candles, and select wines and spirits. Shop local at Petals Patio for quality and service, nationwide shipping, complimentary gift wrapping, and curbside carryout. Petals Patio and Garden, 9757 Clayton Road in the Ladue Marketplace. Online at petalspatio.com.
You've heard me talk about my visit with Ophthalmology Associates, and really a lot of people here at KMOX visit them when they need some eye care. And the reason they do it is Ophthalmology Associates is really good at what they do. When I had my visit with Dr. Malhotra, here's what he did. He sat me down. He said, look, your eyes, LASIK, not really a thing that you need right now, which is interesting because I have had that visit with other ophthalmologists before, and they told me I did need it because they wanted me to pay them to get the LASIK done. Well, Dr. Malhotra said, I'm not going to do anything for you that you don't really need, something costly. We're not going to do that. But here's what you do need. And my cure was something as simple as eye drops. That's it. He was honest with me. He walked me through the entire process, told me why it was good to maintain my current eye health and how to do that. And that's why I trust the folks at Ophthalmology Associates like Dr. Malhotra or Dr. Greg Birdie or Dr. Brasati or Dr. Roy, or all of them are outstanding and all of them will take care of you. All you have to do is get an appointment. Call them up, 314-966-5000. That's 314-966-5000, or visit yourEyeDoc.com.
The World Trade Center St. Louis is hosting its annual Growing Global Luncheon Friday, September 30th at the Ritz-Carlton in Clayton. With the successful launch of direct flights to Europe, Growing Global 2022 will explore international connectivity and the value and impact of connecting our community and businesses in a 21st century global economy. Registration and sponsorships are available at worldtradecenter-stl.com. Reserve your spot now and join us for Growing Global September 30th.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Diamonds Direct's unbelievable zero-interest finance offer is coming to a close, but you have until this Sunday to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing on any purchase. Now more than ever, it's the smartest way to buy. You can get that engagement ring or fabulous piece of designer jewelry and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. This amazing offer is good through this weekend only. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get all the details, including special Sunday hours, at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. Over the past decade, Coalition Life has served thousands of women in crisis pregnancies, helping to save the lives of the children that they carry. Help us build a better community while also reducing or completely eliminating your Missouri taxes with a 70% tax credit. A $1,000 donation today to help these women could cost you as little as $141 out of pocket. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com. Thank you.
Live and local. This is St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
All right, 12:22 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. So we teased the story about Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who was, well, he wasn't served papers. There was an attempt to serve him papers as he was being subpoenaed to appear in court. A couple of different cases involving him. One was a lawsuit. I believe the other one was an action-based. This is all about abortion rights. This is all about abortion in Texas. And I don't think that issue is what I thought interesting about the story, because he's the Attorney General of Texas. He was subpoenaed. Now, what ended up happening is the judge quashed the subpoena, saying, listen, he's only being brought into this because he's a high-ranking official. We don't want that to be the norm. And, you can't, in other words, you just can't just throw people in there because they hold a position. It has to be something that they're doing, right? He's not a lawmaker. He's the Attorney General. He's the guy that enforces the law. Regardless of what you think of all of that, what I found comical about the story is that he he literally ran away from being served papers. And I just find it funny that the Attorney General of a huge state would physically run away from someone who's serving him legal documents. And then after the fact, when he's criticized, say, I felt like I was in danger because there was a stranger outside my house. So the guy trying to serve him says, I said, listen, I'm here to serve you legal documents. But Paxton's on the phone. He runs into his house to get away from this guy, then has his wife come out, start the car, and open the passenger door for her husband. Get in the car. Husband runs out into the car, and they drive away so that they can't be served. Now, the funny part to me is that as an officer of the court, as the state attorney general, I would assume that you issue subpoenas, right? I would assume that you're on the other side of that all the time, where you're sending people out to serve legal papers, to get people to comply with court orders, to get people to come in for their trials. And now all of a sudden you think that's scary? This stranger was outside my house and he was stalking me. What do you think about all the other thousands of people who are served in the exact same way? How does the state attorney general think that's odd or scary?
Well, I'll tell you how. He's lying about it. He knew exactly what it was.
He knew exactly what it was. Issue at hand. Forget that this was about abortion in there. This is a guy who ran from being served because he says he was afraid.
It's a silly defense.
Which is nonsense.
It's a very silly defense. But I think it should be like, we should have, like when you were a kid and you were playing wiffle ball with a bunch of other kids and you didn't have enough fielders, that one of the ways that you could throw out a runner was to throw the ball at them.
Drill them, yeah.
Yeah, so shouldn't that just be the rule? That if I throw the subpoena at you and it hits your body, you've been served. Like, even if you're running away and your back is running, I'm looking at your back and I throw the subpoena, it hits you in the back, you've been served. Doesn't that solve a lot of problems?
The whole thing is odd. And the person serving the subpoena sat outside, I guess, his home for an hour. I've never been served a subpoena, so I don't know how that works. Is that normal for that person to sit outside and wait? I don't know how that exactly works as far as that goes. It does seem like just another one of those stories that you're trying to process and even trying to form an opinion on. And it's hard because it's so bizarre. You're
stupid.
You're like, wait a minute. The attorney general is running away from a guy serving him a subpoena, and his wife is driving the getaway car. Then he goes on Twitter and says he's afraid for his life.
I mean, seriously.
Like, what? How do I have an opinion on that? That's like having an opinion on a chicken wearing socks.
So in his legal career, which has now led him to be the attorney general of one of the biggest states in the country, in that whole career, he doesn't have any grasp of how the process of serving legal documents works. I mean, come on, man. And so here's what the person said who was there to serve him the subpoena. He said, I walked up the driveway approaching Mr. Paxton and called him by his name. As soon as he saw me and heard me call his name out, he turned around and ran back inside the house through the same door to the garage. And then, according to this, several minutes later, after his wife came out and started the truck, he came running back out, got into the car, and goes, if you were actually afraid of someone stalking you, why wouldn't you call the police? Why would you come back out? Why wouldn't you be like, hey, listen, I'm the state attorney general. There's a strange person outside my house.
Well,
it tells you he wasn't actually afraid. And by the way,
Kevin, you're asking questions of somebody who's not a liar.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's very simple. The guy's a liar. He knew what it was.
Isn't our system for doing this a little weird? Like,
it's weird.
If you touch it, you're in. But if I put it on your porch or I leave it at your door, doesn't count. Doesn't count.
It should just be a text.
It's
The
like,
wiffle ball rule's great.
It's like tag, though. Like, if you touch it or accept the documents, well, you got to comply.
Put the stuff the documents inside a volleyball, and the volleyball you get to throw it.
Like dodgeball.
Just like dodgeball.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a subpoena.
The midterm election. The 22 election. The Democrats. MAGA Republicans. The clock is ticking to November 8th.
It's going to put some pressure on all of us to up our game.
From what's happening now,
he's losing support and enthusiasm among the base.
I want to tell my Republican friends, get ready.
To Election Day coverage.
A midterm election route.
The midterms.
When all of them come together, I think the Republicans get it.
You're going in for a problem.
Campaign 2022. We've got it covered. On News Radio 1120. KMOX.
Let's talk real estate for a minute. The St. Louis market is kind of tricky for home sellers right now, with home values going down and not selling as quickly. Now is not the time to risk losing precious equity on your home. This is Debbie Monterey, and I always recommend calling Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria's the best. She's experienced every type of market, both good, great, and the not so good. So before you list your home for sale, call Gloria, and here's why. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy it herself, guaranteed in writing. Gloria already has the buyers, thousands of buyers in her database. In fact, your home may already be sold. Gary and Angela called Gloria and sold their home even before it listed because Gloria had several buyers looking for a home in that area. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Our national debt is now over $30 trillion, an increase of over 20% in just the past 2 years. I'm sure you've been told at some point that taxes will be lower when you retire, but do you truly believe that? Now is the time to begin planning for the future of tax increases. Is your financial advisor helping you with tax planning for a tax-efficient future? If not, this is the time to call me, Ken Heisey, at Heisey Advisory Group, 314-328-4400. If you're like most people, you have a portfolio of investments, but a portfolio is not a plan. How have you planned for the potential legislative risk of increased taxes? Call Heisey Advisory Group now and let us help you create a plan to reduce the tax risk in your retirement. Call 314-328-4400, 314-328-4400.
Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through A Wealth Management, LLC.
At 12:30, it's sunny and 62 degrees downtown at the Arch. Tropical force winds are bearing down on some southwestern coastal communities in Florida, in Charlotte County, Florida. Emergency Management Director Patrick Fuller says first responders can no longer rescue.
At this point, we are beginning to see sustained tropical storm force winds, which means emergency crews from all of our emergency response agencies have been pulled from the road and are no longer able to respond.
The American Red Cross says hundreds of volunteers already standing by throughout Florida to help the community battle Ian. CEO Gail McGovern.
We have nearly 500 Red Cross responders and shelter supplies for 60,000 people. Those Red Cross teams have been responding to the request from local government to equip and open evacuation centers.
President Biden made this pledge about the aftermath of the storm.
We'll be there to help you clean up and rebuild, to help you get Florida get moving again. And we'll be there at every step of the way. That's my absolute commitment to the people of the state of Florida.
Another developing story, the CBS station in Little Rock, Arkansas reports an active shooter at a suburban Sherwood, Arkansas hospital, which is on lockdown. There's a crash on 6440 West before Clayton Avenue. It's got the 2 left lanes closed. Stall 44 West to 270 South on the right shoulder. Weather is sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. This afternoon, sunshine with the high of 68. Clear overnight, the low 47. Plenty of sun tomorrow with the high of 70. Right now, it's sunny and 62 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, 314-946-9999, 946, all nines. If you just inherited a property and you're not sure what you're going to do with it and you want an as-is sale, please reach out to us today. Especially with probate cases, we do a lot of work with the probate courts, and we're very familiar with the confusing process. So if you have a house that you want to sell fast, maybe something that you just inherited, please reach out. Phone number is 314-946, all nines, ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN, 946-9999.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. This summer, the Little Bit Foundation lost their huge warehouse and headquarters in the flood. It's both a heartbreaking and inspirational story, with Busey and the community helping. Listen to our September podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
The Little Bit Foundation works to eliminate barriers to learning for 14,000 under-resourced students in the St. Louis area. Our vision is that every child has the opportunity to reach their potential and achieve their dreams. Bringing programs and partnerships into school communities, the Little Bit Foundation focuses on a whole child model, addressing essential needs, health and nutrition, wellness and family support, academic equity and enrichment, and college and career readiness. To learn more, go to thelittlebitfoundation.org.
Keep up with all things Cardinals with Cardinals Conversations. Hear pre- and post-game shows, the latest from the manager and the front office, how Albert's doing.
Home run, Albert Pujols.
The replays of Live by Lowe's and much more. Cardinals Conversations, available now on the podcast page at KMOX.com. Now the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX, sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
So Wong will take off for second base. No, he doesn't actually. And there's a comebacker. Helsley has it on the mound, runs toward first, flips to Goldschmidt, and the Cardinals can celebrate a Central Division title, beating the Milwaukee Brewers tonight 6-2 to win the NL Central.
Welcome back into the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, of course, Kevin Wheeler with you here, joined by John Rooney. Of course, that was his call for the Cardinals clinching the National League Central Division last night. And John, hell of a handful of days here. You had that last night. You had home runs number 699 and 700 on Friday night. I don't know that it gets a heck of a lot more fun than what you've had here these last 4 or 5 days.
Well, I figured it would take a win in each city to wrap this up, but I kind of thought it might be tonight instead of yesterday. And I had forgotten about the tiebreaker at that time when we left on the road trip. So that works out very well that the Cardinals got it wrapped up. Now they can start resting some people, lining up pitching to see who makes the roster. And those players who are going to get in for game action right now, very important at bats coming up and very important innings in the field to see if they make postseason play as an active player.
Before we get to those specifics about what they do going into the playoffs, did you wear goggles last night in the clubhouse?
No, because I didn't get down to the clubhouse until we signed off from upstairs, so I didn't have to.
Okay.
No, but I've been in on that before. When I was with the Twins in '87, Peter Ueberroth was a commissioner, and they didn't want the cameras in the clubhouse showing champagne going everywhere for some reason. So I had to set up inside Tom Kelly's office at the old ballpark in Arlington. And I mean, the old ballpark, that old bowl, that minor league stadium that they played in for a long time. But as it turned out, the Twins, during the celebration, they dumped everything on me, champagne and ribs and burgers and ketchup and mustard. They just came in. It was right there on camera anyway. I don't know why we couldn't have done it in the clubhouse instead of messing up the manager's office. But that's the way it goes. But the celebration was not a wild, raucous celebration. It was, I thought, very appropriate because this team knows they want bigger and better celebrations down the road.
That's a good point, John. Ricky made that point during the broadcast last night, and the two of you discussed it. It was almost very businesslike. Looking at the game, listening to your description, which does make some sense. This wasn't a division clinched on the final day of the regular season where it came down to the wire. It was heading this way for at least the last couple of weeks, and it was more like, okay, we finished the job rather than having any element of surprise to it that often leads to that celebration.
No, exactly. And I thought everything was very appropriate. The veterans let the young guys really celebrate and soak in what was going on. And I've always enjoyed the clubhouse celebrations in Milwaukee, like the one in 2011 with the National League Championship series there, and how that worked out. And last night was pretty special for Nolan Arenado, who had not won a division championship, and that was his goal coming into this. Oliver Marmol gets a division championship in his first year as manager. And I really like the way he has delegated playing time and some time off and using his pitching, setting up his bullpen. He has maneuvered the roster and playing time as well as any manager I've ever seen.
John, you bring up Arenado. Derek Gould wrote a great piece pointing out, Arenado's accomplishments as one of the most decorated third basemen of his time. 9 Gold Glove awards, 7 All-Star games, 4 Silver Slugger awards, all that he's done in his career. And this is his first time winning a division crown, which shows there's nothing you can take for granted in baseball. And being on a team like this is something very special.
Oh, it always is. And that drought the Cardinals had from 1982 up until they won in 2006. You never know if you're getting back to a World Series. And we've been fortunate in St. Louis to have won 11 of those. And I've been very fortunate 2006, 2011, and then to get back to the World Series in 13, only to come up short to the Red Sox. That's unheard of, really, to be involved in that many. But you have the Houston Astros who are going to be hard to beat over in the American League. All the focus is on the Yankees and Aaron Judge chasing the American League home run record and all that right now. And a lot of teams really don't want to play against Seattle or Toronto. And in the National League, who's going to win the East? Is it going to be the New York Mets? And the Mets right now, as they go down to Atlanta, they have the season series edge. So they have the tiebreaker, but that's going to probably go down to the last weekend. And then the wild cards, Milwaukee is still very much alive, but they don't have the tiebreakers against San Diego or Philadelphia, which is going to make it tough for Milwaukee to get in. So you don't know if you're going to be involved or not. And for Arenado to get in, he's been in postseason play before, but not as a division winner until now.
John, we haven't brought him up a lot because I don't want to say we're taking him for granted, but he's been so consistently good. It's just not somebody that bears a lot of conversation, in part because of that. But the development and the explosion, really, of Ryan Helsley this year as one of the 3 or 4 most dominant relievers in the entire sport has been critical. I know he closed the game out last night. The numbers are as good as it gets when it comes to strikeout rate. He throws as hard, if not harder, than anybody else in Major League Baseball. And, the last couple of years have been inconsistent with a knee problem and some command issues and all of that. But his development might end up being one of the most important going into the postseason because you need those guys locking games down late in the postseason.
And the fact that he wasn't used every other day as a closer is very big this time of year. They've been very careful because of those injuries not to overwork or get him up in the bullpen where he's throwing a number of pitches and then comes in and throws 20, 30 pitches to pick up a save. That really hasn't happened for Helsley. So by and large, he's pretty fresh going down the stretch and into the postseason. And Giovanni Gallegos has had really good bite on the slider and throws an occasional change up. His fastball, he's spotting it well and not leaving it in the middle of the plate. That's good news right there. We don't really know what we have in Zach Thompson, even though he had a really good outing at Dodger Stadium. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of finding out maybe over these last 7 games for Thompson if he can come in and pitch middle to late in the ball game with a lead and hang on to that because those high leverage innings, we're going to see great pitching once things get started a week from Friday. And you have to figure a way to score a run here, a run there, and really move runners along and play baseball in postseason play because the pitching is so good. And now it's a matter of a lot of those guys in the bullpen leading up to the end of the game, guys I just mentioned, to try to find spots on the roster and get set up.
John, let's talk about that pitching and how it will be lined up here and how you see the next week of baseball going, as we talked about earlier.
Well, Miles Michaelis had a terrific start last night. And Ricky and I kind of figured we were going to the ballpark on the bus. I said, if Miles gets a run or two, this is over tonight. And that's the way Miles Michaelis saw it. Once Brendan Donovan hit the double off the center field wall to open up the ball game, and they found a way to get him in, Michaelis said, at least give me another run, and I'll take care of this for sure. And that's what he did. He gave up the home run to Rowdy Tellez. And that was all Michaelis was nailed for last night. But he looks like he's in pretty good shape coming down the stretch here. Getting Adam Wainwright lined up and correcting a couple of mechanical things, that's the focus this week for Adam in getting ready for a start on Sunday at Busch Stadium in the last regular season home game. And we'll see how he does. Jose Quintana has really been good his last two starts, and he was able to hold down a very good Dodger lineup in getting the win on Friday night. He looks better and better. And they need to get Jordan Montgomery ironed out because he's had three starts where it wasn't like what we saw when he first came over from the Yankees. But then again, I think the league is adjusting to him, and now he has to adjust back to the league. So that's kind of the way it looks at the starting end of it. Jack Flaherty has become a member of the conversation because of what he's done the last couple of starts. It makes the last week very, very interesting lining up the starting pitching.
I know Wainwright talked about having the dead arm, and that's a phrase that you hear a lot of pitchers use. And we've heard that over the years, and it can explain a number of different things. Do you think it really is just something as simple as mechanics and maybe getting a little bit extra rest here in the final week before the playoffs start?
Well, I think because of the dead arm and trying to come back from that and build up the arm strength and then get lengthened out for a starting pitcher, that Adam may have developed a couple of things with his mechanics to try to overcompensate for that. That's just my opinion. But he has a couple of things mechanically that he is working on, and he's trying to get a little more push behind the fastball because the velocity is right now in the high 80s. He's not going to throw 95, but there are times he'll hit 90 to 92 when he needs to reach back for the fastball. And to establish a good game with his curveball and his cutter, the fastball is essential. If they can eliminate that pitch, then they wait for a mistake in the middle of the plate on the cutter or a rolling curveball, and that has been a problem, and they've hit the ball hard against Adam. It was not a good start at Dodger Stadium the last time out, but if there's anyone who can identify a problem, work on it, and correct it, even on the fly, it's Adam Wainwright. He's the master of improv in my mind. He finds a way to get through things and get it done, and I'm really excited to see his next start.
John, we'll close where we started because we haven't had a chance to talk to you since Albert's home runs in L.A. on Friday. And I heard you with Tom earlier this week on Total Information AM. I don't want it to sound like we're just sucking up, but I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that. Enjoyed your call, the teamwork with you and Dan and Rick, and obviously Claves there as a part of what was happening down on the field as well. It was just such an impressive work from the group of you guys.
Well, I'm not buying it because you never liked me before.
Yeah.
John?
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that coming from a fellow catcher, and it was a really wonderful moment. And I was telling Chris Kerber last night, I'm kind of numb to all of this because when you're going through this, you take things as they come. You get by game. You get through the division clincher last night, and you really reflect on it after the last out of the last game. And I know that sounds like the cliche that the players use, but I think that's how they approach it. And for me, I've been through this a few times, never through a 700 home run chase like Albert Pujols put on, or I've never seen anything like that for a finish to a career. it's just absolutely incredible. But when you think about it, Ted Williams and Albert Pujols to hit 20 home runs in their final seasons, that talks about greatness at its highest level. So to be a part of that, very special. And I'm glad the game worked out on Friday night where it was a rout, where we could get into some stories and talk about, where we were at other significant home runs in either baseball history or Cardinal history, and kind of put Albert's night in perspective. But honestly, I told Ricky on the way to the park, Albert's going to do it tonight. This is the kind of thing Albert Pujols does. We're going to have a World Series crowd of media and celebrities on the field before the game. It's Los Angeles. It's Albert living up to the moment. And when he hit 699, I knew he was going to get 700. Now, I didn't know it would be the next day bat, but I figured he was going to put that to rest. And Danny Mack has said many times, Albert Pujols is one of the greatest showmen baseball has ever seen, and he is spot on that.
100%. John, great stuff. As always, thank you for being with us. We'll look forward to doing this again next week.
Well, Kevin, I know you don't like me, but I really like you. And
John, I'm going to tell you something right now. I have always appreciated your work. And unlike Kevin, I'm not a liar.
Hey, we go back to Chicago now.
All right.
Yes. Way back.
Yeah.
We have that going. So, and Amy, it's nice you still work at KMOX. I'm glad you could join us today.
Yeah.
Amy, she's been on vacation. I mean, what a great deal! What a great deal.
Well, listen, when you're working with these two guys, you got to get out of town as often as possible.
Yeah, you probably need it. Yeah,
right.
That.
Amy's over here catching Rooney strays. I love it.
Throwing shade. I'm gonna go cry.
We are pretty difficult, though. So you're right about that.
John, I love being on the show.
Have fun
best.
tonight, John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals. Cardinals, by the way.
Rooney from the rooftop,
he's
off
the
sniping Amy.
At KMOX.
I mean, that was the people's elbow right there.
Amy's like, I like being out of this. Boom.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri. We're for kayakers, trail hikers, wine tasters, cave divers, grocery baggers, car dealers, and the man who plays saxophone outside the coffee shop. We're for the 100,000 fans that taught the nation how to tailgate, and the Division II national champion mules. We're for cowboys, hipsters, lead singers, and everyone else who likes to wear tight jeans. We're for the guy in a camo hat at a Nelly concert. We're for Rolla engineers and weekend volunteers. Armed service members, you bet we're for you. We're for teachers, preachers, students, and singers. We're for anyone who ends their address with a comma and a mo. We're for people who shake your hand and say hello, not because they know you, but because they don't. We're for contractors, road pavers, ticket takers, and horse trainers. We're for brewmasters, stockbrokers, beauty queens, and truck drivers. And if you're a fourth-generation soybean grower, don't worry. We're still for farmers, too. Whatever you do, if you're a Missourian, we're for you. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we've got Missouri covered.
Congress has authorized trillions in new spending, along with doubling the size of the IRS agency in just the last few months. Do you think that is by accident? No, it is with a purpose, to go after small businesses, employees, and individuals who have not filed or paid their taxes. If this is you, don't panic, just call. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Interest and penalties on your tax bill won't stop until you take control. Call me, Lance Drury. I'll tell you in advance an affordable fee, which includes costs and expenses that works for your business and family. Your first visit to the Lance Drury Law Firm is free and confidential, so you have nothing to lose. Call me today. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Odyssey celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month and the trailblazers who made their mark worldwide. Rosita Dolores Alberio, also known as Rita Moreno, is known for her roles in the classical musical films Singing in the Rain, The King and I, and West Side Story, just to name a few. But did you know Rita is an EGOT? Rita is one of the few to win an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony. Odyssey celebrates Rita Moreno and National Hispanic Hispanic Heritage Month. More on the Odyssey app, and celebrate the sounds and stories of Hispanic heritage at odyssey.com/HHM.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Buy today and save tomorrow with Lombardo Homes. Your dream home is within reach. Interest rates are on the rise, but home ownership is still affordable. In fact, Lombardo Homes will buy 2 points off your loan, bringing down your rate by as much as 0.75% when you sign your Lombardo Homes purchase agreement. This means lower monthly mortgage payments and more money for the things that matter. Restrictions apply. Please see sales manager for details. Visit LombardoHomes.com for community details, floor plans, pricing, and home site availability.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 38,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Join the Foundation Fighting Blindness at the St. Louis Vision Walk on Saturday, October 1st at Creve Coeur Lake Park to help find cures to diseases that cause blindness. Visit visionwalk.org.
Carol Daniel for Ophthalmology Associates. For the best eye doctors, you need to see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Online at yourEyeDoc.com or 314-966-5000.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold at Newbold Toyota. Since we led the St. Louis Metro in Toyota sales in August, the factory gave us a whole bunch of cars. So come see us. Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Kevin Wheeler. Nice. Amy Markscourt. Fabulous. Chris Ranji. Unbelievable. On the show.
Amy, you need to, or Amy, Kevin, whatever, what's her name? Kevin, you need, you need to fill for a while because Amy just took a bite of her quinoa wrap.
Yeah, good timing there, Abe.
I didn't.
You didn't.
What is it with you taking a bite?
She looks like a squirrel. There's like a big,
what do you mean?
Big bite of food right there in the
all over
upper
her
right
face.
cheek. It's like, I don't know what you're
Like
talking
she's
about.
like she's in the dugout dipping and she's got a big chew in. Why do you do that?
I didn't do anything wrong. Guys,
Hey, how about John Rooney just
throwing shade?
Oh my
He
God!
wasn't
love
throwing
John
shade.
Rooney.
He was dropping bombs.
Yeah, like Amy
Yeah.
caught a stray from Rooney. She's just sitting over there, like, and listening
I was
to.
like just being a nice person, just sitting here.
Yeah.
Listen, like I said, I can talk baseball with the average person. I can't keep up with you guys right now. You guys are baseball fanatics, so I'm letting you, do your thing. Talk about baseball and John Rooney. I'm just being a nice American. And
just
there's Amy. Glad to see she still works at KMOX.
Well, he didn't mean because
you didn't say anything there.
Yeah, he wasn't talking about like, how you every
Yeah.
now and then interject your lady baseball thoughts. He wasn't talking about that. He's talking about the fact you go on vacation every week.
Yeah. Okay, first of all.
Did you know Amy went to Banff and almost got eaten by a bear?
Oh my gosh.
But by eaten, I mean it was a mile away, and she's like, that looks like a bear down there.
It's pretty close.
It was close.
Mm,
I
sure.
love Alberta. Now, here's the thing. It did.
Who's up?
The
Was it a
optics-
place?
The
a place.
optics were bad the past couple of weeks. Not gonna lie. But my first vacations in like a year.
Okay.
They just happened to be smooshed together. And John Rooney noticed.
All I know is
glad she's back.
Very clear. Somebody watched some wrestling back in the day. That's off the top rope.
Oh, yeah.
Full
That
elbow.
was awesome. I'm not going to lie.
I
Cage
love
match.
that he was not going to allow you to get away with your vacations.
I know. I appreciate it, though. I had to laugh.
Like on the drop-down menu when we're asking for time off, it's holidays, vacation, and Amy time.
Amy time. Well, that means get away from us time is what that means.
At Busey Bank, we understand you have a vision for your future, and we're committed to helping you achieve your dreams. Since 1868, we've invested in recruiting and retaining the best and brightest associates. Busey's unique culture is one that values and supports you, provides opportunities for growth, and is much more than a job. It's a career. Build relationships, build community, and build your career at Busey Bank. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini.
An important message from SNL Coins Gold and Silver Buyers. SNL Coins Gold and Silver Buyers pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, diamonds, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver. Get a quote with a call to SNL 544-3600, SNL Coins 544-3600, or visit SNL 9300 Gravois just east of McKenzie, 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call SNL 544-3600.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with Truehold. Truehold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want, and Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since Truehold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, September 28th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is unprecedented, worth hundreds of dollars. But call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
Blue sky and 61 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
I just decided last night, I was on Pine Island and I heard that there was going to be huge surges, and I decided, better safe than sorry.
The National Weather Service says Florida is now being hit by a historic storm.
This is going to be a storm we talk about for many years to come.
Director Ken Graham's biggest concern is storm surge. It may help Floridians to paint a mental picture of just how bad the impact may be.
I'm 6'5", and you think about this storm surge forecast, you start getting 15, 16, 17, 18 feet. I mean, that's a lot of me.
Put simply,
water is dangerous.
Both during and after the storm. FEMA Chief Deanne Criswell's begging people not to venture out once Ian passes. Sagar Meghani at the White House.
Orange County, Florida Mayor Jerry Deming says hotels are filling up.
Visit Orlando estimates that the occupancy rate is at 85% within our community. So we still have 15% capacity within our local hotels.
This is Kevin Killeen. The Red Cross of St. Louis will have its emergency response vehicles hitting the road Thursday morning, heading to Florida to help hurricane victims. These 2 mobile canteens will provide food and water for people who are on the go, displaced from their homes. Also, a team of 5 from the St. Louis Red Cross is already there, coordinating shelter needs for those who are homeless from the storm. The Red Cross is also seeking donations to help with food and water and shelter equipment and for cleanup supplies after the storm needs to be cleaned up.
Oakville High School is currently on lockdown. The Melville School District says it's because of a threatening message found at the school. All Oakville students and staff are safe and are being kept in classrooms, the district says, and that police are searching the building but have not found any signs of intruders or other threats to student or staff safety. Arkansas authorities say 1 person has been shot and killed at a Little Rock area hospital and another is in custody in the shooting. Sherwood is a city of about 33,000 people northeast of Little Rock. Hospital workers could be seen gathering in the parking lot of an Academy sports store near the medical center. Law enforcement from multiple agencies responded. The Archdiocese of St. Louis confirms 2 Catholic high schools will be closing at the end of this school year. KMOX's Brad Choate reports.
Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky said as part of All Things New strategic planning, they reviewed enrollment data and trends over the past 2 decades. He said in order to be good stewards of the gifts given, the decision was made to make this the final year for St. Mary's and Rosati Kane high schools. Officials said all other high schools in the diocese are in good shape. The decision was made now in order to give students and faculty time to find places somewhere else for the 2023-2024 school year. Reporting from the Cardinal Regali Center, Brad Choate, KMOX News.
The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk, fewer home buyers.
Pending home sales last month, deals that have been agreed to, not yet finalized. They fell for the 7th time this year, hitting the lowest level since 2011. That's because of soaring mortgage rates. This week, they climbed just above 6.5%, a fresh 14-year high. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's up 434 points to 29,569. Some debris to watch out for. 55 north before Broadway. It's in the left lane. A crash on 6440 west before Clayton Avenue. The right lane is closed. A stall on 44 west but at Shrewsbury Avenue, so watch out there.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunny and up to 68 this afternoon. Clear, chilly, down in the 40s tonight. And then back up to near 70 with sunshine tomorrow. Mid to upper 70s to near 80 heading into the weekend. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's a sunny sky across the region. 63 in Florissant, 64 in St. Peters, and 61 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by News Nation.
Chris Cuomo is back with a new show on a new network. Cuomo premieres on News Nation Monday, October 3rd at 8/7 Central. To find News Nation on your television provider, go to newsnation.com/join us.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
105 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Talking a good bit about taxes and potential tax breaks for all of us here on the show today, and we're going to continue that here. Steve Eldman is with us, St. Charles County executive, talking about personal property taxes, and obviously things do tend to change year over year, and that's the case coming into the new year, and there's some ideas about how we can maybe take some of the burden off of taxpayers because of what's happening with inflation and with the economy. First off, Steve, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate you.
Hey, glad to be there.
So just set it up simply. What are we trying to do in St. Charles County with this?
Well, have you tried to buy a used car lately?
Thankfully, no.
My brother has. It's a little rough out there. It's not
It
smooth
is,
sailing.
and there's a state statute that said when the assessor assesses personal property, including cars, he looks at the NADA, the Blue Book, from the previous October. And that's what happened last January. Assessors around the state followed the state statute. And basically, at that point, used cars were up 25 to 30%. And there was actually an attempt to fix that in the legislature starting in January. And there was a bill in the House that would have allowed the the assessor to use either the NADA Blue Book or the CPI. In a case, of course, the CPI is around maybe 8%, which is a whole lot different than 25 to 30. But we're not looking forward to late November, when all the tax bills come out, because I don't think people are aware that they're going to be paying quite a bit more for their car.
Yeah, and when you say quite a bit more, again, they'll be paying roughly 25% more in personal property taxes. And in St. Charles County, that amounts to about $24 million more in personal property taxes this year.
That's right. If you look at all the various jurisdictions, if nobody adjusts their rate to make up for that, it would be $24 million. Now, at the same token, the average is probably going to be around $50. So, are people going to get excited about an extra $50? I don't know, but I know I think a lot of them are going to be shocked when they see the bill for their personal property.
So, all right, what exactly? You said some people are going to see like a $50 benefit here. On the higher, on the higher end,
they're not going to see a benefit. They're going to see an additional cost of $50.
Sure, right. Yeah, exactly. So, what kind of relief will the majority of people be getting? Is it just that, or are we talking about maybe other costs we're unfamiliar with?
See, the county assessor assesses everybody's property, okay, and he's a county officer that's elected. But once he assesses the property, it's up to each political subdivision to establish a rate. Now, for county government, we established our rate the other day, and what we did is we dropped our tax rate so that we would collect the same amount of property tax from used cars this year that we did the year before. But that's probably only 5% of the personal property tax that's going to be paid. So there'll still be others out there. If they don't do the same thing, it'll be a windfall of close to $24 million for all of those jurisdictions combined.
And the move that you guys made, again, within the power that you have, will save taxpayers about $800,000 overall.
That's correct. We'll collect $800,000 less than we would have, but we'll collect the same amount that we did last year. And when people build new houses, and our revenue goes up because we have to provide services to those houses. But when the cost of your used car goes up 30%, there's no additional duties on the back of county government, our school districts, or anybody. Mm-hmm. It's just a windfall, and people are hurting because of inflation already, and this is just it's a small thing that we've done when you look at the overall problem, but it's all that we can do about it right now.
Right, and my understanding is that money would come from the road and bridge and 911 dispatch budgets, but as you said, they will still be receiving the same amount of money that they got last year. So those budgets are not getting a cut from what they got last year.
No, there's no cut, but there's no additional windfall that they would otherwise enjoy.
And I don't know the details on this, Steve, but does the fact that things are more expensive for everybody, for us, for cities, for counties, for everything, does that change at all the level of service we can provide with that same amount of money, with costs going up and things?
Well, here's what needs to happen in the legislature this year. And you got to understand that there's a rollback provision which was put in years ago to make sure that jurisdictions like the county and school districts didn't profit just from inflation. Mm-hmm. To the extent that we profit from inflation, we need to roll back under the law. But we don't have to roll back for new construction. Again, because if there's a new house built, there's going to be kids to educate in that house. There's going to be the need for police and fire protection for that house. So they allow you to keep that. But that same statute allows increases in personal property to be treated as new construction, which doesn't make any sense because, as I said before, there's no additional duty for us towards towards you because your used car is worth more. So that needs to be straightened out, and I hope the legislature will take that on and get it done this year.
So what we're trying to do, or what you're attempting to do, is make this a permanent relief.
Exactly. So again, if a car goes up just like regular inflation on real property, it'll be subject to the rollback, and what we did voluntarily, we would have to do every year, and so would everybody else who may or may not be doing it this year.
We really appreciate the update, Steve. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with the money that I'm going to save since I live in St. Charles County, but I'll figure that out. And I don't know. I'm not going to do anything nice for these two, but maybe do something nice with the wife with that. We'll have a good time.
Hey, guys, it's really nice talking to you, and the show must go on.
Oh, that's right.
Steve, thank you so much.
Steve,
I'm sure we'll talk down the road.
You made the promo. You're in.
There we go. Thank you, Steve. We'll talk to you down the road. There you go. That's Steve Ellman, St. Charles County executive. Interesting kind of idea. They're talking about that, I think, in St. Louis County too, right? They just haven't gotten as far on it. I thought I saw some reporting on that recently.
You know, I should know because you're St. Charles County.
Yep. So that's why I knew this.
Yep. I'm St. Louis County, and Ron's over here, St. Louis City. Look at us.
We are representative of
Look
the
at
entire
that.
area.
Look
There
at
are
us.
we completely represent every single person in St. Louis.
And Franklin County peeps. Those
Yeah.
are my peeps too.
Oh yeah, those are your people.
How'd you get them?
I
How'd you
lived
adopt
out.
them?
I lived out there
Oh, you
for
did?
a long time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Oh, and I got the Southwest Illinois over here too.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the Metro East, if you will,
We are the people's show.
for the most part.
We really are.
Yeah.
Some people.
We're here for the people.
I mean the way they're talking to us. Some of our texters, I'm not sure we're their show.
Oh, but they're listening. I mean, if they're
I know
texting,
that's a good point. Because a lot of the people that have been the most vocal, like, "Oh, you guys are idiots,"
Every day.
it's all the time. So
you
you're still
don't
there.
text shows that you don't listen to.
Except there's one guy
Uh-huh.
that we have, and I'm assuming it's a dude because, again, as I say, it has to be.
He's got guy. He's got guy energy.
He's got guy energy. So this dude, we haven't heard from him in a few days.
Oh.
I'm getting worried.
Are you?
I'm kind of worried about him.
That
He's
guy?
He's
yeah,
the guy
that
that's
guy.
always
The
upset.
573 guy.
Oh,
I know there
yeah.
was a guy that I
He
was
texts non-stop.
Yeah, there's a guy that I was texting last week, and I'm like, you want to have a real discussion? Here's my email address. You can email me. Let's argue.
Crickets.
And nothing.
Yeah, crickets.
Wonder why.
Oh, 573. So Jefferson City, Columbia, Rolla, Cape Girardeau, Poplar Bluff, Sykeston, all that.
So lots of places.
Lots of places. Farmington, Hannibal. We don't know where this guy is.
I'm
All
guessing
the
it's
choices.
my guess is Poplar Bluff.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Just guess. Just random.
I just threw it out there.
It's just one of the
It's a
names.
guess. I said up front, it's a guess. I
Do
don't
you
have
guys
any.
remember the show Designing Women?
Yeah.
I loved that show. Jean Smart, I think, was from Poplar Bluff.
Oh, like
in
for
the
real
show.
or just in the show?
In the show.
Okay. Yeah, my parents, my mom watched it, so I've seen it.
I love Designing Women. If anybody remembers Ray Dawn, text in 314.
I don't know what you're talking about.
436-7900. Ray Dawn, the most despicable character on Designing Women.
Designing
Anyway,
Women with Betty White.
Well, I'm sure that's the
No.
people's topic.
that was the Golden Girls.
Ah,
Designing Women was Jean Smart, Delta Burke. Who was I cannot remember. her
Delta
name.
Burke. I remember that name.
She was Suzanne
actor, yeah.
Sugarbaker.
She was who?
Suzanne Sugarbaker.
If you say so. But I
Kevin,
have seen the show. Kevin was too cool for
you know,
it by the
John
time it was
Rooney's
on.
glad I still work here.
Yeah.
I'm glad you work here too.
When was that show even out?
80s?
I don't even remember it.
80s, yeah.
Like late 80s?
It was on around the same time as Golden Girls, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Our listeners know Designing Women.
Oh.
314-436-7900.
I'm sure they're
And Ray,
thrilled by the
Dawn.
conversation about them too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ranj.
I-
I appreciate the support.
I'm right there with you.
You didn't even know who that was.
Who?
She mentioned Jean Smart. You were like, what?
Everybody
Gene
knows
Smart's
Jean
on a
Smart.
show now. Did she just get
She's
nominated for an
on
Emmy?
The political show.
It's
Yeah,
an
that
HBO show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That
I can't
show.
think of the name.
We'll get you an update on the chess controversy when we come back on the show.
We play to win.
There's a comebacker. Helsley has it on the mound. Runs toward first. Flips to Goldschmidt. And the Cardinals can celebrate.
Congratulations, St. Louis Cardinals. We play to win.
A Central Division title.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
One of the things that surprises people after they retire is how much they still owe in taxes. The good news is Steve All of the All Financial Group, he's here to show you some strategies that can lower your tax obligations both now and in the future. Call today, 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory services offered through All Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuity products offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
Diamonds Direct's unbelievable zero-interest finance offer is coming to a close, but you have until this Sunday to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing on any purchase. Now more than ever, it's the smartest way to buy. You can get that engagement ring or fabulous piece of designer jewelry and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. This amazing offer is good through this weekend only. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get all the details, including special Sunday hours, at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
Right now is the perfect time to call Zero Res to deep clean and refresh your carpets, air ducts, upholstery, and more. Call 314-474-2020 to get 3-room Zero Res clean starting just $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. ZeroResSTL.com.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near to dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight, or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Lockheed Martin understands what it takes to accomplish critical missions around the globe. Through collaboration, communication, and interoperability, the F-35 is essential to Allied air power. Lockheed Martin, your mission is ours.
My Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but early detection allowed us to take control of the situation together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm Dr. Stork. Doesn't your family deserve the best? Eggland's Best Eggs. Classic, cage-free, and organic give you and your family more. More delicious, farm-fresh taste, plus superior nutrition. Compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best provides 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, and 25% less saturated fat. These are no ordinary times, so why choose an ordinary egg? Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Hey there, it's Hancock and Kelly for First Mid-Bank and Trust, a local bank right here in St. Louis with over 157 years of experience and 19 locations across the greater St. Louis area.
Yeah, First Mid-Bank and Trust is perfect for small business owners. You need a partner that you can count on, and that is First Mid-Bank and Trust, and they're great for everybody, whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement. Check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, I'm Mandy Moore. We can do great things when we stand together. With support from American Airlines, Stand Up to Cancer is closer than ever before to achieving its mission to make every cancer patient into a long-term survivor. Through this incredible collaboration, we are pushing cancer research to new heights. Doctors and scientists, team members, patients and their families all working and standing up to move progress forward. The fight against cancer never stops. Thankfully, new and promising treatments can help save lives now.
Flight attendants prepare for takeoff.
So get on board in this mission. To learn more about how you can support this groundbreaking effort and get Advantage Miles, go to standuptocancer.org/American Airlines.
News, talk, sports. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
All right, back into the show. Chris Raji, Amy Marks, course, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Have you guys heard of the Buttfish program?
Have I heard of it?
Yeah. Have you heard of
I instituted it. What's a buttfish?
The Buttfish program.
So that's what you meant when you said it was your BF.
Okay, Amy. Yes, that's what I meant. How'd you know?
Wow.
What? Kevin, you did it.
Go on, Kevin.
No, I didn't
Please
do that.
continue. Please continue.
All right. So the Buttfish program has been designed by a man in the Netherlands named Ron Sim to investigate whether or not old Hans Niemann cheated in the Sinkfield Cup.
Oh.
So he's trying to determine with this program whether or not the way that he was accused of cheating is actually doable, is actually possible.
Is it okay? Is it buttfish spelled like PHISH? Like
no,
like fishing?
No. It's actually like the fish.
Okay. Oh, it's like an actual buttfish.
That's
because Amy just showed me a headline. From an article. From an article. Do you want to read the headline or do you want me to do it?
I could read it. Well, you read it.
It's from
2020. I remember this story because we talked about it.
So it says man. What is this from? Oh, Lad
But
Bible.
that's just the one I clicked on. It's on multiple.
Okay, but man has whole fish stuck in there after sitting on it by accident. That's what this headline is.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that's exactly
$1 million to 1 shot, Doc.
Yeah, $1 million to 1.
I mean, if you jumped
Is that what it was?
into water,
No, you're wearing swim trunks.
maybe. Anyway, that's not what you're talking about.
No. So this is it's a computer program that's being used by, as I mentioned, I think his name was Ron Sim. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's SIJM, but he's in the Netherlands and he's investigating the greatest scandal ever to hit the world of chess.
Which is the thing hidden in the thing to help him cheat.
So
The thing that would buzz.
So according to this, Buttfish is a program that could let someone communicate with an AI chess program using a device that goes in the
thing
where
you do the stuff.
Yeah.
And so he wants to investigate this because this is the greatest chess I think the greatest chess scandal in history, is it not?
And what was the 2004 scandal?
I don't know.
There was a big scandal, but
did
this
it have
one's
Kasparov involved or no?
no.
Okay.
There was another scandal?
I don't think so.
Not like this.
No.
This is a thing. Like
This
the
is
fact that we even keep bringing it up tells you it's a thing.
Honestly, I believe this is the biggest chess story since Deep Blue. Like Deep Blue playing whoever he played and then winning.
Yeah.
Deep Blue was the
Since a computer beat human, yeah.
Right. And that was a really big deal at the time that it happened. So this is a very big deal. And I hope that we do get to the I hope somebody
Somebody's already gotten there, though, Ronch.
I hope somebody gets to the
I think they got there.
As we
the
know,
bottom of
like
this.
the accusations that have been flying have been that Hans Niemann, the 19-year-old, is accused of cheating online, but also accused of cheating in over-the-board games.
Which they did at the Sinkfield Cup in St. Louis. They did, like, use the...
Well,
Well, those aren't usually made of metal, are they?
I would think not.
So I don't know
Which
how the metal detector would pick it up.
The device that would help you cheat.
The original one?
The implant.
Yeah. Well, it's not
if
an
you
implant.
will. I know. I'm trying to find a nice way to say it.
It's supposited.
There you go. The suppository.
Yes. So then this gentleman, this 19-year-old...
Do you think Steve Ellman's really glad that he is not following this segment?
Oh, no, I think he wishes he was on right
we
now.
should have asked him about it.
The kid who cheated, the 19-year-old...
Hans.
Online, we don't know if he cheated in person.
He's accused of cheating in person.
He then decided, allegedly cheated.
Right.
He then offered to chess naked to prove that there was nothing up there,
Which is totally normal.
Which, well, I mean, it's the Milli Vanilli playbook. Remember when they offered to sing because they were caught lip syncing?
Right.
Like somebody else is
like all
singing.
the time, not just in a concert, but like they never sung any of it.
And then they said, well, we'll prove that we can sing, so let us do that. And then they did, and they were very good.
They're pretty awful.
So that's a lot of pressure for Hans, because if you get the opportunity to, first of all, you got to chess naked in front of everybody to prove you're not cheating.
Yeah.
You have to
Plus,
win.
That's some confidence, by the way.
You have to win. Like, you can't lose.
Yeah.
And remember, there's no evidence whatsoever that anything was supposited to cheat.
That's correct.
Right.
We just
it's all alleged.
It's all internet stuff
by Elon Musk.
Well, he made it the worst though. Like he didn't create it, but by retweeting it, by making it a thing, it blew up all over the world.
He didn't start the fire. He threw gas on it.
Yes, that's exactly right. He just dropped the 10-gallon tank of gasoline on it.
Because he loves to do that. So this butt fishing thing, is it going to work or how?
I don't know. It's a computer program to see
see
if you could actually do this. Like, it could be if it could work.
Because imagine you're playing a very complicated game of chess and you're getting buzzing messages from the nether regions.
Yes.
And deciphering them
And
too.
deciphering
Not
them.
just getting them and being like,
And
but like
not making a face.
Well,
it'll take some practice.
That would take a lot of practice.
But that's what this program is set to figure out is, could you even do this? Could you even set up a system where this would work? So they're trying to set this up.
Yeah.
And I believe the guy that created it is going like totally open source. Like, here's what I've done. Anybody that can help solve this thing and make it work.
Listen.
Let's see if this is even possible before we continue to make these accusations of young
And
Hans
I think
Niemann.
if you can get it to work, I think the term poker face would no longer be the standard for a stoic expression.
Well, butt face is already a thing.
Yeah, I know, that's different.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's a totally different thing, Amy.
Text her to 314-436-7900 says, wonder if he uses it at home. Well, you have to practice.
I mean, you don't just go in there blind.
There aren't many things I'm good at, but I was born with a talent for start. It's like the difference between poking someone with your finger a little bit and punching them as hard as you can. And that is what it feels like in the world where everyone is just rearing back and throwing haymakers so that 18 people will like their tweet. And there's a possibility it goes viral because I was so mean or I was so this or so that. And personally, it just kind of like, ugh.
A little snark and a whole lot more. The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
What do you have for us today, Charlotte?
Charlotte is the little sister of the tooth fairy. Charlotte is the junk fairy.
If you have stuff in your shed that you haven't used in the past 12 months,
Yes.
you're not storing stuff, you've got junk.
Turn your storage shed into a shed that you can use again.
Give yourself some space to maneuver.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Carol Daniel here. Leslie Gill, president of Rung for Women, addresses the gender wage gap in our latest episode of PNC C-Speak, the language of executives. She advises employers to stop asking applicants for their previous salary and post the range. PNC C-Speak provides digital storytelling from a C-level perspective on relevant, forward-thinking business approaches. Listen to our 14-minute podcast with Leslie Gill at KMOX.com/PNC C-Speak. PNC C-Speak, the language of executives.
Yes, with inflation, interest rate increases, and a possible recession looming, we are no doubt facing uncertain times in the housing market. But as a realtor with over 20 years of experience, I can tell you, if you're thinking of selling your home, now more than ever, you need a realtor to help you through these times while saving you money. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and we offer all of this for only 4%. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri. Do your homework. Check us out on the Better Business Bureau and Angie's List. Hi, I'm Chuck Easter with Easter Fence Deck and Renovations. We can stand the scrutiny and encourage it. Don't just look at the ratings, but read the reviews. You'll find that we are who we say we are. A company that is focused on doing what's right every time. We never cheat and we never cut corners. With Easter, your fence, deck, sunroom, or awning project will be completed with unmatched craftsmanship and at a fair price. Call 314-892-8500 or easterfence.com.
At 1:30, it's sunny and 63 degrees downtown at the Arch. We've just received word that the lockdown at Oakville High School is lifted. After a threatening message, police swept the school but didn't find anything suspicious or threatening. School at Oakville High will dismiss as usual at 2:10 p.m. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is warning residents, no matter where they are, of a 1-2 punch as the monster Hurricane Ian slams into the coast, approaching Category 5 status.
If you are still in Southwest Florida, just please stay inside until the storm passes. It may appear to be calm at some point. You may just be in the eye of the storm, and the backside of that will get very, very nasty.
He says it's a recipe for substantial damage and long-term power outages, with some 200,000 customers already in the dark.
$200,000 is a drop in the bucket for what's going to happen over the next 24 to 48 hours. There's going to be widespread power outages, particularly in Southwest Florida.
Stephanie Fisher in the Southwest Florida community of Port Charlotte explains why she and her family are waiting out the storm in their home.
We are 15 feet above sea level, and we figure we're going to be pretty safe.
In Sarasota County, resident Tim Delaney and his wife are hunkering down. He's concerned about storm surge with a 9-foot wall between his house and a nearby canal.
I'm waiting to see what happens with the flood surge coming from the canal. That's my main concern. And my other concern would be if something blows through one of the, if a heavy object, takes off and goes through one of my shutters.
KMOX traffic, there's debris on 55 North before Broadway. The left lane is closed. A crash on 6440 West before Clayton Avenue has the right lane closed. Stall 44 West at Shrewsbury. Watch out there. Weather is sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon with a high of 68 degrees. Clear overnight, the low 47. Plenty of sun for tomorrow with a high of 70. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL. Sunny and 63 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Attention veterans. If you were stationed at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you and your family may be victims of toxic water poisoning. Cancers, birth defects, deadly illnesses have all been linked to the contaminated water. Congress is now holding the government accountable. You could be awarded financial compensation for your suffering, but you must act now. Visit sickvets.com for your free case review by True Law. That's sickvets, like veterans.com. Sickvets.com. Visit sickvets.com.
Hey, it's Trish Gazelle for Ophthalmology Associates, the office of Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Brusati, and Dr. Andy Royer. I went there over 20 years ago for my LASIK procedure. Couldn't be happier 20 years later. They are the doctors, and that's their nickname because they have treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice. And Dr. Birdie and Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eyes, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgery. Call for an appointment today. Drs. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Brusati, and Dr. Andy Royer, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com. They're located off Manchester Road, 12990 Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270 on eastbound Manchester Road. Again, for more information, call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000 or go to youridoc.com.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Get ready for the Cards and Brewers tonight. Ameren pregame show 5:45. First pitch 6:40. Hear the game on KMOX and streaming on KMOX.com.
$135 on the show here on a Wednesday. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, Kors, and Kevin Wheeler.
You guys like Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
You heard of Tom Hanks, the actor?
I have heard of him.
We always have to ask that with entertainment-related things just to make sure.
Because
rude.
You never really know.
Real quick, Danielle on Twitter says she is 32 years old and she too has heard of Designing Women.
That wasn't the question. It was like, why would I watch that as a high school or college-age young man?
We did have a number of texters to 314-436-7900 who also remembered Designing Women.
And the key critical Poplar Bluff tie-in is that the creator of Designing Women really was from Poplar Bluff, which is why she had Jean Smart's character.
Linda Bloodworth.
Yes. Tomlinson, whatever. Had Jean Smart's character, Charlene, be from Poplar Bluff.
See, and that I don't remember that when I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure I've got family in Poplar Bluff. At any rate, Tom Hanks is a terrific actor. Been around for a long time. You could argue. You could argue he is our most famous current actor. Tom Cruise is probably in that mix.
If he were an athlete, he'd be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, there's
Tom
no question. Oh,
Hanks.
yeah, he's first ballot.
Yeah.
Like, there's not even a question about that. In
Yeah.
fact, you could probably make the argument he's a Mount Rushmore actor.
Of our modern time, sure.
Well,
Of romantic comedies.
what?
Those aren't even the good movies.
That's
What
not
are
even
you
the good
talking
stuff.
about?
That's what I've seen.
Tom Hanks has a novel coming out in May of next year, and the novel is going to be called The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece. And he did an interview with People magazine recently. And in the magazine, in the interview, he makes this comment. And again, I don't know if he just kind of made it off the cuff, if he was being funny about it, but here's what he said. No one knows how a movie is made, though everyone thinks they do. I've made a ton of movies, and 4 of them are pretty good.
A little modest.
Which is unbelievable. Because the filmography for him is extraordinary.
He's
and for
kidding,
him,
though, right?
He's got to be kidding. And again, there's
He's
no,
kidding.
as far as I know, there's no audio of this. It's just him. It was print. So I don't know what the tone was when he said
So
it.
we
It
don't
could
have
have
like
been
the sarcastic blue font.
Yeah. But just if you take it on the surface level, to say there are only 4 movies that he's done that are, quote, pretty good. That's unbelievable.
It's a
because
joke.
I think any other actor would kill to have even 4 of the movies he's done.
Yeah.
Like, not just the 4 best, but like just 4 of the decent movies that he's ever done.
3 of the 4 with Meg Ryan.
He did Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, and
Joe versus the Volcano.
Joe versus the Volcano, which is one I don't know if I've seen.
They are one of the greatest on-screen couples ever.
Well, certainly most well-known, one of them. What would be the 4 pretty good movies that he's done? Obviously, Saving Private Ryan is
That's
in it.
absolutely number one.
It's clearly, I think it's number 1.
You think he would put Castaway in there?
I don't
didn't
know.
I didn't love Castaway. That was like meh for me.
See, and I did. And what's incredible about it is that it's so hard to make a movie good when there's only one person in it.
And
he's the only person in the movie.
Yeah.
And he makes it compelling pretty much the entire time.
That is hard to do.
It's nearly impossible
You've
to
Got
do.
Mail is a great movie. It's a great movie. It is my top 3 movies of all time.
Of all time,
Yeah.
Amy, there's no chance that's true.
That is so true. I have seen of the movies I've seen. That is one of my favorites. I've seen it 100 times.
Have you seen Apollo 13?
Apollo 13 is
No,
great.
that's
It
a-
is
that's a good
amazing.
one.
It's so
Well,
great.
How
I've
have
seen
you not
enough.
seen that?
I don't know. I've seen enough of it to feel like I've seen it.
Is Apollo
Ed
13?
Harris,
It's an
Tom Hanks.
amazing movie.
It's
Is
an
Apollo
amazing movie.
13 one of the 4?
To me, it is.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be, right?
If it's my list, it's definitely top 4.
So we've got Saving Private Ryan, Apollo 13.
Captain Phillips would
You've
be.
Got Mail. Oh, that is a
Captain
great
Phillips.
movie. That's a stressful movie.
It is, but it's I mean, he did a great job in that.
Did you know he did not see the actors who were playing the Somali pirates until that moment?
Mhm.
And there was genuine fear because it was so realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And the lead Somali pirate, ad-lib.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm the captain now.
Right,
I think
right.
everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But in case you didn't,
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump,
It would not be in my top 4 of his, but it's got to be
It's
up
good.
there.
I forgot
it's
about Forrest Gump.
Philadelphia.
Yep. And that might
Oh, wow.
have to be there because that's the one where he crossed over into serious stuff.
Big, Turner and Hooch.
Big is awesome. Big might be my top 4. I love Big so much. Wait, real quick.
Big is the creepiest movie.
How?
He's
It is
a
creepy.
kid.
And that
So?
lady falls in
She
love
doesn't
with him.
know he's a kid.
I know, but
creepy.
she does at the end, and he
And-
turns into a kid, and she's like,
He
I love you.
he is.
It's creepy. I agree, Kevin.
that movie's creepy as hell.
His ID says he's of age.
What did you
um,
feel about Turner and Hooch?
Turner and Hooch, the dog dies, right?
A League of Their Own.
I don't like it.
A League of Their
League
Own
of Their
has
Own
to
is
be
a
up there.
great movie.
Yes, A League of Their Own.
One of the most iconic lines in modern movie history.
Um,
There's no crying in baseball.
The Green Mile
Green Mile,
is awesome,
Bridge of Spies.
and also I don't think anybody mentioned it. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
I didn't see that one.
Okay, well, it's
That-
about Mr. Rogers,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't.
and
see it.
it's really good.
Is it?
It's really really good, and for the people who grew up in the Mr. Rogers time when you watched it. I'm assuming, Kevin, you didn't, which is why you are the way you are.
I hated Mr. Rogers.
Of course you did. Of course you hated Mr. Rogers.
Those puppets are creepy as hell.
Of course you
That
hated.
thing
But
you do.
that thing you do, I didn't care for.
Sully was
Sully is good.
awesome.
Sully is good.
That was a really good movie.
Catch Me If You Can is really good. I love Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
Now,
Road to Perdition was really good.
awesome. So which of these four?
I don't know.
Like, I know he
man.
just kind of threw that number out there. But if you had
he
to,
must have been kidding.
Forrest Gump, you have to.
Although he did qualify it by saying he was rating them by the experience that he had making those movies. And I think he listed the 4 movies, or at least examples.
I
of them,
didn't see that in the
because
story.
I think, or maybe it was a different interview in the past. He had listed.
Okay.
He had listed. What was that weird one where they had like multiple lives and they were living over different generations? Cloud Atlas.
Oh, I never
He
saw it.
listed that as one, and I think he was rating them based on his experience making them, as opposed to like the outcome or critical reviews or anything like that.
So he has to be the most productive actor of our lifetime, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
I'd
he's
have to
got
look.
to be.
I mean, Tom Cruise is in a lot of movies.
Right, but how many great movies? Tom Cruise, I love. I seriously
We didn't even
love
do
Tom
like the
Cruise.
Da Vinci Code, which was
Oh,
huge.
Yeah, the Da Vinci Code.
You know what's interesting is that we're not even sure if Tom Hanks is the best Tom, because there's Tom Cruise. Those would be the two guys.
Tom Hanks is a better actor.
Much better.
Yeah.
He's a much better
Even
actor.
though Tom Cruise does the one thing he does very, very well.
So
He's
wait, what's
awesome at
your
it.
argument then?
I think the best films that he's done. Tom Hanks' best films, like his filmography is better than Tom Cruise's.
I mean, Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise in every movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is very different characters in all of these, although he has some of the same characteristics. I mean,
Sure.
he's very
Yeah.
distinguishable in his manner.
Well, as most actors
I,
are.
I love Sandra Bullock, but she's always Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
I understand
Yeah.
the Blind
The
Side,
only-
she was slightly different, but it's always Sandra Bullock, and I love her.
I think the best example of an actor who is completely different in a lot of roles
Yeah.
is Daniel Day-Lewis. Because when he is in a role, he's completely different than the next guy.
You know who else does
and
that?
he's awesome at it.
Another guy who completely transforms throughout his career is Dustin Hoffman.
Really?
Like, old school actor. Yeah.
I kind of always
everything
thought he's always Dustin
Yeah, he
Hoffman.
seems-
Really?
that's
Everything from
interesting,
like Rain Man to Tootsie
Well,
to
Rain
all those
Man was,
movies that
you know,
he
he-
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was different because obviously a different presentation
Yeah.
of his personality. Christian Bale is great about that. He's been
Well,
very
he did the
different
thing.
characters.
Was it The Mechanic? Is that the movie where he starved
Yeah,
himself?
The Mechanic. I mean, obviously he's been Batman. Didn't he play Dick Cheney?
He did play Dick Cheney.
I mean, like he's morphed around quite a bit with what he's looked like in movies and what the manner. Like he's been everything from the big tough guy to obviously the emaciated guy that looks like he's about to die.
Yes.
I mean, so
I
he's
think
been
that's The Mechanic.
all over the place. Yeah, that was The Mechanic. I would also put Gary Oldman in that category.
He's awesome too.
I love Gary
I do
Oldman,
too.
and he has played everything. Did you ever see True Romance?
So
So it's the
I
old
can't
Christian
remember.
Slater movie. It's Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette. Gary Oldman plays like a drug dealer in inner city Detroit. He's got dreads. He's like, I mean, he looks creepy and
I can't remember
nasty,
if I've seen
and he
it or
plays
not.
it like and at that time, I don't think he was really famous in the States. He wasn't like known here, but he played that role. And then I saw him in something later. I'm like, wait, that's the same guy.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's also in that movie.
I think I did know
He's
that.
a stoner.
But Gary Oldman, you know, like Commissioner Gordon, obviously,
Yeah.
but played
ever see
Lee Harvey Oswald
Tinker,
in JFK.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
I did not see that
Great
one.
movie.
I did not see that one.
Absolutely great movie.
That's a Tom Hanks, right? Or is
no,
he
no,
not?
that's Gary Oldman is the lead.
Okay. But I mean, beyond Saving Private Ryan, and I think you have to throw Forrest Gump in there. What are the other two?
For me, Apollo 13
Mm-hmm.
is definitely one of those. And then I got a tough battle between like A League of Their Own.
A League of Their Own was so good.
Castaway is obviously, again, for me, it's not, but Captain Phillips, I might have to go A League of Their Own.
I think you have to go A League of Their Own. It's so iconic.
And it was kind of an important movie too. I mean, it's something that happened that people didn't remember until that movie came out and reminded everybody like this was a thing.
Is it John Lovitz who plays the scout?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
He's the best.
He's so good.
I think the answer is The Money Pit. I like The Money Pit. And that is my answer to that.
I've never heard of the Money Pit.
You've never heard of the Money Pit?
It was him and what's her name from Cheers?
Shelley Long.
Yeah.
They
bought
buy a house.
and it's a disaster.
Right. It's a money pit.
Yeah.
Shelley Long was
Sorry
also
for the
in
spoiler.
Troop Beverly Hills. Great movie.
Yes, she was in Troop Beverly Hills too. Thank you, Amy.
Yeah, but clearly, Tom Hanks though is just being humble.
He's got to be, man.
Joking, guys.
Although
It's one of those
it's
like
not a mystery.
No, but some people are actually really hard on their own work. Like
He's
they are
not.
really super.
From what I've seen of
uber
him,
critical.
I think he is pretty pleased with himself.
But he's also pretty based too, I think. Like he's not somebody who's
Dude, you can't say
What?
based.
why?
Nobody knows what that means.
He's
That's
very
so
grounded.
cringe.
I know.
Everybody knows what that means.
I'm dumb and I knew what he meant.
Yeah.
Well, but that's because you're
Even
12.
Dave knew what we were talking about.
And that doesn't happen very often.
And Tyler's even nodding, man, and he's a
Tyler
young
knows.
But that's the point. Based
Well, the
and
young
cringe.
the young people know.
The young people say based and cringe. My dad's not going to say that.
I'm not your dad. I guess it could be though. You're the age you're at.
Look old enough.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Why don't you go back to Banff? God, I'm so like, you know, I'm
He just
so
knocked him
upset.
off balance. He's like, he went from being in control to like,
I'm so upset the Bear lost.
So that it was the 1-2 punch of Troop Beverly Hills, and then you look old.
Yeah.
Random reference followed by insult.
Always rooting for the Bear. Always.
You may find yourself in another part of the world, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. You may find yourself.
Well, the past couple of years have been a pretty bumpy ride for business owners, whether you're talking about the pandemic or inflation. And I'm sure you could use a break. And if your business has 5 or more employees and you manage to survive the COVID years, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. Now, this isn't a loan. There's no payback. It's a refund of your taxes. And if you feel like, okay, this could be confusing, I just need a little bit of help, here's what you need to do. Go to getrefunds.com. The team of tax attorneys they've put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program and have already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. They do all the work with no charge up front. Simply share a percentage of the cash that they get for you. And businesses of all types can qualify, including those who took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. Now, to find out if your business qualifies, just go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. Very easy. It's getrefunds.com.
Odyssey celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month and the trailblazers who made their mark worldwide. Desi Arnaz, Cuban-born actor, musician, and television producer, best known for the television sitcom I Love Lucy, also produced other successful shows like The Andy Griffith Show, The Dick Van Dyke Show, and Star Trek. Desi Arnaz helped define television in the United States, earning him a spot in the Television Academy's Hall of Fame. More on the Odyssey app, and celebrate the sounds and stories of Hispanic heritage at odyssey.com/HHM.
For 30 years, Banner Construction has offered the finest home exterior solutions featuring James Hardy and Pella Windows to give your home a beautiful new look. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. That's 569-1050. Banner Construction.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, September 28th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is unprecedented, worth hundreds of dollars. But call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
For garage door repair, St. Louis calls the real Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. They're the ones with the red ribbon. They're the ones who've been here since 1926. Others try to copy the name, but they cannot match the level of service. The red ribbon means 94 years of trust and loyalty from St. Louis homeowners. Always look for the red ribbon. It means you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Call 314-781-5200.
Are you tired of paying fees and commissions year after year, even when you lose your money? How would you like to decrease fees and limit your risk? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
Find the perfect gift at Petals Patio and Garden. Explore new inventory of colorful hand-thrown pottery from London's Royal Botanic Gardens. Kew bearing the royal crest. Shop houseplants, boxwood balls, garden tools and accessories, coffee table books, soaps, candles, and select wines and spirits. Shop local at Petals Patio for quality and service, nationwide shipping, complimentary gift wrapping, and curbside carryout. Petals Patio and Garden, 9757 Clayton Road in the Ladue Marketplace. Online at petalspatio.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Get started with the Vision Walk today and form your Vision Walk team to raise money for a cure. For more information, go to visionwalk.org or call 314-852-7223.
Hi, it's Kent Newbold for Newbold Toyota. Your car is worth more than ever before, so why trust the damages for your servicing? Come see the factory-trained experts at Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 314-441-4444. Amy Marks Course.
This is my show, my microphone.
On the show.
All right, we got a texter in the 314. Says, is it true that you don't have to outrun the bear? You just need to outrun your co-hosts, Amy?
Yep, that's exactly right. And she would have lost.
I would have beaten you guys 100%. Unfortunately, the person I was with was a professional runner.
Yes.
Yeah, see, well, then
that is correct.
Yeah.
Two things on that. One, it's not necessarily the fastest. It's who's willing to fight dirty, because I'm just going to trip the person and you just go.
That is one of the early episodes of Walking Dead. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to get out of a high school. I think they go into the school for some reason. They're trying to get out, and then they're swarmed. And the one dude, Shane, shoots the other guy in the leg. So he falls and gets eaten, and then he can get away.
Horrible person.
Yeah.
Right. And then he goes back to the house and he's like, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah,
it's
one of those.
I think there's a movie. It might have been a Channing Tatum movie. I think it was called The Eagle or something. It's set in like Roman times. They lose the eagle standard and have to go find it, and they have to go into the wilderness. Well, anyway, there's like two guys running from a pack of wolves, and one of them's just like, well, buddy, I'm going to break your leg, and left him behind.
That's dirty.
Yeah.
Ronj would do that. You know how
I would not do that.
That's 100% what you
No,
and
I would
Shane.
not.
Yes.
But also,
No.
here's the question, though. Is running from the bear, is it about short burst, like 100-yard speed? Or if it's running about distance, Amy, you win.
Well, I could outlast this person for 20 miles, but I think for about a mile, which is probably as far as you need to go. That's no further
See, I
than
don't think a
that.
bear's chasing you for a mile.
Yeah.
I think we're talking a couple 100 yards at most.
Anything shorter than a mile, she would crush me.
Well, it wasn't about her. It was about the three of us.
I could outrun you guys. And I'm not even fast.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, not in a sprint.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the initial, holy crap, time to go.
But I'm thinking those baseball years would be in my favor.
Well,
they might be. I'll be like, wait, my knee!
Wait!
Hey!
You know what?
Hopefully there are no stairs. If there's no stairs, I might be okay.
If there ever is a situation where the three of us are encountered by a bear,
Yep.
and Amy's over here bragging about, I'm definitely faster. I think because she's so braggy about it,
Yeah.
if the bear did somehow get her first,
Yeah.
instead of trying to help, I'd be like, that's what you get.
Yeah. Here's my question.
I'd
though.
probably be taunting you.
You're a bear and you're hungry because you are trying to get 20,000 calories a day
that's a good
for
point.
winter. And you see 2 whole rotisserie chickens and 1 chicken wing. Which one are you going after?
Yeah.
Chicken wings are good, though.
Raj, but we're done.
Yeah, no,
we're the bigger meal. We're more worth the effort.
That's right.
Bears know that meat close to the bone tastes good, so we're going to get chicken. That's why chicken wings are so delicious. It's true.
Also, you know how you say Newt Larsbar? I always say Tatum Channing. What's his name?
Channing Tatum?
Yes.
Are
I
you
always
serious?
say Tatum
What's
Channing.
his name?
Yeah. I always say Tatum Channing, like Newt Larsbar.
Wow.
You saw Magic Mike, right?
Oh, yeah. Amy saw Magic Mike.
It's a joke.
Come on. As far as she's concerned, that's an X-rated movie.
Is it on
And we don't do that
Hallmark?
around here.
If it's not Hallmark, I haven't seen it.
That's not welcome in the Marks Course house.
Thanks, you guys. Hey, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate all of our guests. DGS coming up next on KMOX.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 314-946-9999. We buy houses direct. If you're thinking about selling, you're not sure where you're going to go, you can